Going live. All right. Theoretically, this should work. And how do I get to the URL so I can? I guess I can see the chat here.
Got the notification.
How's it going?
Okay. Well, how is everybody?
Pretty good.
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 I'm
Fine.
but good.
Yeah, doing
Yeah.
okay given all things considered with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not there. We're all quarantined.
Yeah.
I still stand by that. I say it's not the worst thing. So anyway,
Well-
I remember why you were saying before. So.
What's your take on it?
it's not that bad. It has a 98% survival rate.
yeah.
If you have any
Well-
form of health issues, then yes, be worried. But I feel all of us are pretty healthy.
Here's not to cause a mass panic or anything, but the problem is at which the rate of required hospitalization, somewhere around 2% of people die, but the hospitalization rate is like 1 in 5. And that includes age groups from like 20 to 44. I don't know why that's lumped in as one group, but yeah, it's like incredibly possible to be younger and require like intubation, right? And the death rate significantly rises when you don't have a healthcare infrastructure that allows so many people to be intubated at once. So right now there's a shortage. There's a shortage of masks. There's a shortage of intubators. And the reason why Italy is seeing like 700 people dying every day is because they're in a situation where they have to decide between who gets these life-saving medical devices, right? So that's where the problem comes, is not just like the bare numbers of percentage of like, oh yeah, how likely are you to die if in a perfect world you have medical treatment and the hospitals aren't overwhelmed. Like the big problem is that there's not enough being done to like flatten the curve, right? So if everybody was like smart about it and everybody was respecting like the self-quarantine thing, then the amount of people that get sick over time wouldn't hit the threshold of like completely decimating the healthcare system to the point where people needlessly die from it. But if you see the slope up curve where it passes the point where the hospital capacity is, then that's the big issue. And I'm concerned about the United States in particular about that. Moderately concerned about Canada. We seem to be taking some measures. I don't think they're extreme enough yet. The numbers are still going up. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the situation in the States right now.
I mean, we are doing all right. It's the problem of people freaking the fuck out. So
for this time being, I suspect that this will be a little bit, the tone of this conversation will be a little bit different next month, honestly.
we'll see.
I'm not trying to be like a told you so kind of person or anything. I'm actually like concerned for people in the States right now.
Well, that's that's of course, that's something we can't tell. I mean, gosh, Tuesday I had a wonderful day, and then what happened the next morning? I woke up to a fucking 5.7 earthquake. So.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, that earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, forgot about that.
It just kind of shows, things are very uncertain, and that's just how things are. We don't know if the coronavirus will be here next month. We don't know if we'll have our houses.
We have a reasonable suspicion. Like based on every other country and the conditions that allowed things to get out of control in other countries, I would guarantee that the coronavirus is going to be in the United States next month, and it's going to be a lot worse than it is right now.
I've heard July earliest. We'll stop seeing it in like September. I've heard as late as September.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get your hopes up for that.
I probably am basing it off of like where I'm at though. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in LA, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm in Utah.
Okay, that's pretty close.
Yeah, so if you guys watch the news, had a big earthquake, so
I've heard mixed reports of whether it's gonna affect the U.S. food supply.
It caused more panic, yes. Well,
I mean,
more panic
it really depends how people react to it. Because the food supply is not gonna like disappear.
No.
Even under quarantine, like essential personnel for like keeping society running are going to be the exceptions, right? So like people
Yeah.
are going to be able to still stock grocery stores, or there's going to be a way for people to get food. Ideally,
Yeah,
hopefully,
and
we don't know
everything's just
like
yeah, and
tight
in
schedule.
my
in America,
area,
but
they restock food in the grocery stores like I think at least every morning. So I mean, I don't know what else the U.S. is looking like outside of my area. So
I went to Target the other day and they had a sign like, please, we're restricting every customer to only one of everything in like the cleaning and toilet paper sections.
yeah,
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
smart.
that's
Yeah,
what
I
happened
saw
at
that.
Walmart.
Vexel, did you want a link or what? Did you want in?
Oh, I will be right back. I gotta go do one thing.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
one-
Yeah, very interesting times right now, for
Are your
sure.
roommates staying inside now, or?
Yep. Yeah, Vexel's came back from the States like a week ago, and he's been self-quarantining in the basement. Not that he's showing symptoms, but we're just trying to be,
Right.
follow the guidelines.
So how are things going with the coronavirus in Canada?
I mean, the numbers are rising. Where I am, like BC is one of the biggest spots for it. It's like BC and Ontario. And yeah, I mean, like there's been like some sort of quarantine measures, but nothing like enforced, nothing like by fines or anything. Like they said that bars would shut down on St. Patrick's Day, some were still open. So yeah, there's like clusters of people that just like aren't taking it seriously, but it seems like there's enough precaution at this moment that we're not going to see as bad of a situation as other places that didn't really take the proper precautions.
Yeah.
Are you still gonna go to like film festivals if they're still open?
Well, they're not. Like when do you mean? Because like Cannes is postponed now too, and that was supposed to take place in May. So that's not even that's like 2 months from now, and that one's still postponed.
Oh, really? They announced
Yeah.
it? I thought they were going to make an announcement like mid-May or something like that. Did
No.
they announce it already?
Yeah, they announced it very recently.
All right.
About like Vancouver or Toronto.
Well, those don't take place until like September, October, so we don't know. There's no point for them to announce like a cancellation just yet.
Yeah,
We'll have to
so
see how things go. Sorry, just sending a link here to.
Yeah. I mean, if Canada does all right, then I mean, hopefully, TIFF will at least continue on as normal.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but like depending on how other places in the world are doing, we might not let everybody attend. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like by September and October, I think there'll be a difference than now. But
Yeah, we don't know at this moment. We're kind of just we're winging it. We're seeing how things go.
It became like really real to me just how long it's gonna take, no matter what. Like in the last week, I just got really bored and I was like, July earliest. This is gonna suck.
Yeah, it's not a
I don't expect
great
it to be
situation.
July either. Yeah.
I don't know. No one really knows at this moment. We're just hoping things work out.
It seems optimistic, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm prepared to quarantine for like a fucking year. Like, I don't give a shit.
I switched to water in LA. Wasn't so gross, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's not bad. I don't know.
No,
I've been to LA. I've had the
yeah.
water.
You can totally
Tap water.
drink it. It's just pretty gross as drinking water goes.
we just had E. coli in the water supply in my county.
Ooh.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think they said it's gone now. But
Oh, I
for a
hope
few
it
days-
You could like boil it
Where are
or
you
something.
at?
Hey,
Yeah, that's what they
How's
said
it
to do
going?
for a few days.
I've
What
got to
state?
Yeah.
talk to you in like a week. What is this? It's a joke.
I've talked to you
I know,
on
like,
text
yeah,
and
but like
shit.
not like voice to voice. This is
How are you feeling?
I'm fine.
It's just a high fever and a dry
Oh
cough.
yeah, really dry cough, but I'm fine. Where's my water bottle and my daughter, so I can just give her the water bottle after I'm done.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
saw that interview. That was funny.
That was good. No, we're doing
That was
good in Canada.
hilarious.
I know we were just talking about that. I've been following we're doing daily pressers in BC. We're
Yeah.
testing like in BC, like we've already tested like 20,000 people, which is insane. We're doing like 3,400 tests per million people, which is a lot. Like if you compare that to like Korea was doing 5,000 nationally, and we know that they had like the fewest deaths out of anyone. They had like 15,000 cases, like less than 100 deaths, which is insane. Like because there's already more than 100 deaths in places with like 5,000 cases.
Yeah.
And the way they did
South
that
Korea was
the way they did that
they
was they
they were ahead
tested
of it.
lots of people. They tested like thousands and thousands of people, like 5,000 people per million, and they did something called they followed the contact chain. So every time they found a case, they followed the contact chain and isolated people in that contact chain. And the effect that had was the so-called flattening of the curve, which
Yeah.
made it so that people got sick. Still, a lot of people got sick, but at a slower rate, so the healthcare system can handle it. So that's what we're doing here, which is why hopefully we won't have as many deaths, and also because the changes took place on the 13th, I think, was when the major changes happened, which is on last Friday. Probably in a week or two, we'll see those changes in effect, because there's going to be a lag between the time that changes happen. This is going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Because
That's
of
the
incubation
issue.
period. So
is like the United States is just starting to do shit, and it's not.
So basically,
and
don't
depending on
panic,
where you are in the
basically.
states, it's like completely different too. Like
Yep.
Florida's not doing shit, Texas is not doing shit, right? So
Yeah, and the healthcare in the U.S. just fucking sucks in comparison to the rest of the world. So
Yep.
Do you guys actually have to pay for like treatment and tests? Because that would be fucking
yeah,
insane.
well,
That's
I don't know if
actually,
they know
I
yet.
don't know yet. But
No one knows
I would
yet.
not be surprised if they had us pay for that shit because of how the health system in the U.S. is. That
That's
and
fucked.
the government's run by mostly Republicans at this point, conservatives. So I mean, that doesn't help our case at all.
Yeah, that's kind of shit. Fuck.
I saw something that said it was like $1,000 for a test, and I have no source for this, so I don't know if it's true, but just it sounds right to me in my experience that it was something like
Okay.
As an
That
American.
would
Yeah,
sound
we-
about right. I would not be surprised by that at all.
Yeah, I think Trump
Could
said
be more,
that like
actually.
testing would be free,
And then
but
the
there's
healthcare
no
industry was
real.
like, no.
Yeah, well, no, they
It's
said
intrusive.
like, I think they said that tests would be free, but the treatment wouldn't,
Yeah,
because that's what they
right.
corrected,
Fucking course.
which
that's
is
what
still
they correct,
bad.
because they're fucking price gouging mafian motherfuckers.
The really
Yeah.
worrying thing from our perspective is that it sounds, by the sound of what the White House is saying, is that they're focusing more on treatment, like chloroquine
Yeah.
and like they're focusing more on finding antivirals and vaccines instead of focusing on testing, which is absolutely the wrong approach. Because like you have to focus on testing first. If you're only focusing on antivirals and vaccines, then you're just going to make a profit off. Your healthcare is just going to make antivirals and make some money off of it, but you're not going to stop
Yeah,
people
that's
from
the
dying.
point.
So it's just absolutely the wrong
Yeah.
approach.
Why are we talking
Yeah.
politics?
Because it's kind of fucking unavoidable right now.
Yeah.
Because like there's
Yeah.
no movies in theaters right now because of this thing. So like,
Oh yeah.
You
Speaking
can
of
watch movies
which,
during your laptop.
You saw Onward, right?
yeah, I did. There's a bunch of movies that came to digital very early. So
Is that,
I
where
think
you
Frozen
watch,
2 might be
Onward?
out now. Otherwise, it might
They
be out
said-
this weekend. So I
I've
might
seen
check that out.
It was getting a very
Adam,
early
is that how
release.
you
Onward
watched
is out now.
Onward?
Yeah, digital. I definitely did not go to the theater. I think all the theaters are closed right now. Pretty sure they're closed.
How was it? Was it as bad as I was thinking it was?
It was a below average Pixar movie. It
I
had
figured.
many of the same issues that I find in like most Pixar movies, but this one, like, there was just less of a hook. The two characters didn't have much chemistry. Like there was nothing to like about those characters. It was just like you didn't care about their journey or their relationship, and that was the biggest problem. And then a lot of the jokes just plain didn't work. Some of them were literally like reused and recycled from like Ratatouille and shit, and it was just like, hey, yeah,
Let me
it was
guess.
kind of dumb.
It was not as bad as The Good Dinosaur, but it's still
No,
pretty bad.
no, it was not as bad as The Good Dinosaur.
Would you say which would you say is better, Toy Story 4 or Onward?
I'd probably have to say Toy Story 4. And I didn't really like Toy Story 4,
You know,
yeah.
I found some very entertaining aspects out of Toy Story 4, but
I haven't even seen it, and I love the original 2 Toy Story movies.
oh,
But I
absolutely,
don't
hands
want
down.
to see it. I saw like a clip of it. Someone was watching it in like my dorm in one of the rooms with the TV, and I saw like 2 seconds of it, and I was like, that doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to say, like, you know, it's Disney right now. It used to be good. Now it just feels like they're trying too hard.
I mean, Pixar just isn't the same anymore.
No.
And they're like, the talented people from Pixar are now just doing like actual Disney animation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, probably has a tighter grip on them. But
what's your favorite Pixar?
Me?
Ratatouille.
No,
I guess I may voice mine. Incredibles.
Incredibles 1 and 2.
1.
no, it's your Wall-E.
That a trick question?
Yeah, I don't see many people saying 2 as their favorite.
No, I mean, again, 2 had some likable aspects, but it just felt too corny.
Yeah.
I think
Not great.
Bob Odenkirk was fun. Like,
Yeah.
he had such spirit in that movie.
Yeah, Brad Bird didn't seem like he had as much passion behind this film as he did with the original Incredibles, or really Ratatouille or The Iron Giant for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but
Yeah, I mean, it was a sequel cash grab that was never intended from the beginning.
No, in fact, I remember they had that Rise of the Underminer game on GameCube at the PlayStation, and they should have just left it there.
So, did no one see Onward in theaters, by the way?
No,
I didn't.
I haven't been to a
I
movie
will
theater
torrent
in a while.
it and watch it later tonight. In fact,
did.
it's
I don't
already
feel
done
like it.
torrenting, so
Yeah, because apparently the short, you know how Pixar does shorts before the movie? Apparently the short for Onward before that was like The Simpsons. was like
What?
a Simpsons short because Disney owns The
yeah,
Simpsons now.
My friend,
Oh,
my
no.
friend was telling me about that, and he said it was like so fucking lame.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Current
Wow.
Simpsons and also before a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds awful.
Oh my god.
That wasn't on the download, but like I'd be interested to see that just to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was
Last time I
gonna
was
go
at
see-
Universal, there was a really boring Simpsons ride.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was
know what
like
would be-
modern Simpsons, and it was way too long.
How long was
There's-
the ride?
I don't know. It felt really long though, compared to like the Gringotts ride.
Maybe because
Or the
either
Spider-Man
it was
ride.
long, or it just was such a shitty ride that it just felt long.
Yeah, I forgot that Universal had like Simpsons stuff at their theme parks.
I'd
Yeah.
like to imagine Disney's like,
Yeah.
cease and desist.
Or
Well, no,
yeah.
there's
No,
like
it would
plenty
be a
of stuff
different
at-
license. I'm sure it'll expire at some point, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Disney will have Simpsons
Oh,
stuff.
I know, but it would still be
Yeah.
their
great.
own
Universal Studios has a lot of stuff there that, I don't like. Hold on, isn't Harry Potter is like Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers.
But it's like the biggest Universal attraction right now.
Yeah, I think they license a bunch of stuff for their
Disney
theme
World
parks.
is just gonna expand like
Yeah.
an amoeba, and
Because like
Yeah.
yeah,
Take
it's
over
not
that.
like every single studio had their own theme park or anything. It's not like
Yeah.
you see a
I-
Lionsgate theme park.
Yeah.
I've
Blue
said it many
Sky
times
Animation
before,
theme
but
park.
I would not be
A24
surprised.
theme park.
All right.
I would love a Lionsgate theme park just so everything could be like Saw movies.
Yep.
Saw and Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And, like,
Breaking
Hellboy.
Bad ride.
Hellboy.
And
Yeah.
Gummy,
The good
Yummy
Hellboy.
Gummy Search for Santa, of course.
Yeah, just
Wait,
be
Breaking
like,
Bad is owned by
surprise, this ride is
Lionsgate, right?
real.
Breaking
Dead.
Bad is Sony.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Yeah,
How about a
Sony and
Blumhouse
AMC.
theme park?
Oh man,
Never
I'm
mind.
glad
There won't be a Breaking Bad.
Breaking
right?
Bad didn't give its rights to AMC like The Walking Dead did. Holy shit, what a smart move.
Yep.
Guys,
Yeah.
excited for The Walking Dead
Co-owned.
World Beyond.
Frank Darabont just needs his own like production company, so he
Hey,
can have
Adam.
his own rights.
Yeah.
Like I actually watched
Sorry?
The Mist for the first time. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I like Frank Darabont. Still.
My mom, she said she didn't like all the bickering, but I saw that's the theme of the movie. It's not about the monsters. It's about the people. It's about the people in their plight.
Who's
you
the
say-
real monster?
Yeah.
Did you say?
And
Oh, sorry.
AMC.
Yeah.
that Christian lady, the crazy Christian lady, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my stepmom.
I'm a Christian and I say that's too much. Like,
Adam, did you
seriously.
say you were eventually gonna get to The Walking Dead season 3, or did I just imagine?
Yeah, I
I
definitely
know-
said that.
Okay, I know you've got a lot going on. I just wanted to know.
Yeah. I give updates on like there's like 2, maybe 3 like big projects that have kind of just been on the side burner that I'm gonna get to for a while. One of them I've got like planned in the actual schedule on the horizon, which is like finishing up Synecdoche. So like the schedule right now is finish up Kimba, then finish up my album, then finish up The Lion King, then finish up Synecdoche. And then after that, I'm, who knows, right at this moment, because I don't plan that far ahead. But
But it's on the horizon somewhere. Okay, cool.
yeah, and
I got
I
big
mean,
Kimba
like,
hype.
here's the thing, though. Like, when I said that I would do The Walking Dead Season 3, that was very shortly after I was doing Season 2. And I put a lot of work into the Season 3 stuff already, in the sense that I took, like, 13 pages of notes. I watched through the whole thing. But because of the other projects that I was working on, and then, because of things like having to move from my old place and like working on the Synecdoche thing, and like, there were just way too many things that I was trying to do at once, that looking at what projects I was doing in terms of like, oh, this is time for me to get into another YMS video. And I had the choice between doing literally an entire season of a television show and all the behind the scenes footage and shit for that, versus a smaller project where people's biggest complaints about the channel are that I don't make the YMS reviews frequently enough. And I knew that if I took that project in particular, that it wouldn't come out very quickly at all. And so it was just making that decision over and over again, to the point where it's like, okay, now it's just been so long that it's basically irrelevant, but I'm still going to do it because I said I was going to do it, in the same way that, like, I'm going to finish up Synecdoche. I'm going to either make a video on Moral Oral or talk about it on the podcast or something. I'm going to do something with that for sure. Like, just because it takes a while for me to get to my projects doesn't mean that I've abandoned them. It just means that there's other more important things that I need to focus on for the time being. Synecdoche is something where, when I started that project, I had planned on just doing the whole thing right away. But, the first 2 parts of that video, I didn't realize it would be that long, first of all. And it wound up taking an incredibly long amount of time. And when I consider, like, what are my big projects, like YMS review, list video, Synecdoche, those types of things, like, there has to be some sort of healthy variety on the channel. And I think, as much as there's, like, a good amount of people that enjoy the Synecdoche, New York videos, you have to be completely honest with the fact that most people are watching my channel for the comedic stuff, for like the big YMS reviews, for like the funny, like Adam and Pals now at this point, like the comedic material. And if I spent literally parts 1 through 6 of Synecdoche on this like kind of depressing thing, I wouldn't have had time to focus on any of the comedic stuff. So that's why I had to start sectioning it up and putting space in between them. And then after a certain point, it was like, okay, well, the amount of space in between these is kind of correlating with the theme of the film. And I kind of enjoy how that's going, and I like to see time passing between these and having people revisit it, because that's essentially what the film is about time passing and about re-examining a certain piece of work at a later point in your life and maybe feeling about it differently, right? That was like part of the goal from Charlie Kaufman. So yeah, even though there's some people that think that like, oh, I've abandoned it because I just don't want to work on it, like I'm not interested in it, like that's bullshit. And these people probably either don't watch my videos or don't pay attention to my videos, because I very clearly explained it in the last part of Synecdoche what the whole thing was. So
And
anyway.
Six
So,
won't
Adam-
even be the last part of that, huh? There's a lot more to go
Yeah,
through.
because even if there's more than 20 minutes worth of shit, even if it's like a 40-minute long video, it's still gonna be one part. Because I've completely abandoned doing like the whole 1-part, 2-part thing on the channel, except for like the 13 Reasons Why stuff at this point.
Oh, so it will be the last one?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on it till it's finished.
Oh, cool.
Synecdoche, New York is like that type of genre that you're fascinated by, kind of like the same surrealism as Eternal Sunshine, Spotless Mind, or The Holy Mountain. So you should really just do what you're interested in, what fascinates you the most. Not because of
Yeah,
what
I am interested in it.
I was gonna say, like,
That's why I
if people are
started it.
really-
That's why I'm gonna finish it.
If people are really like freaking out about it, though, that clearly says they have nothing better going.
I don't think
lives.
it's many people that actually watch the channel. I think it's just people that don't like me, that don't really watch what I do, and are looking for like points to score to be like, oh, look at this guy. He doesn't even like finish the things he says he's working on. God.
He
I
doesn't
think they're just
expand
people
upon
that
what he
don't really watch
says.
me.
He just
I think honestly that's the biggest complaint I've seen coming about you. No, that was
Yeah, I mean, it would be different if I had like a set promised release date that I was like, it will be out by this point for sure. But I like that didn't exist, right? My only promise at this point is like, yeah, I'm working on it and I'm gonna finish it, and I haven't broken that promise.
That's the best promise you can get.
It's better to say that instead of being dishonest, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can be like
I mean, like every time that I like say, hey, it'll probably be out by this month or something for like a larger project, a lot of the times it doesn't work out. And I feel like it's not the fault of me spending more time on it than I thought that I would. It's the fault of me inaccurately predicting when it would be out. Because when I think like, oh yeah, it should be out this month, that's like I want to tell people that because I would like it to be out this month and I think it's possible. And then, you know, as the project goes along, it's like, okay, there's a lot more time spent on this than I thought there would be because there's more I want to say about it. There's more editing jokes I want to make. There's blah, 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 blah. For whatever reason, you know, it taking longer isn't the problem. It's the problem was that I accidentally, that I was naive about how soon it would take. Right.
Well, after Synecdoche, will you do series like for movies like Synecdoche, or will you continue on movies?
Maybe. I'm not gonna worry about it immediately after finishing it, though.
Yeah, if you ever like sit in on one of your editing streams, then you know what you're saying is true. So.
Yeah.
About
exactly.
How stuff just takes longer and longer and longer. Like Kimba has been going on for a little while already.
Kimba was supposed to just be a part of the Lion King video,
right?
And now it's like it's like 20 minutes long, and I haven't even said half of what I want to say.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, so I was watching one of your streams, and you were talking about I think the late '80s series that had that theme song where they just belt Kimba.
Yeah, Kimba.
Yeah. So in the U.S., I don't know if you saw this on like a Pokemon VHS, but I had one of those VHSs of like I did. One of the Pokemon VHSs, and at the end, I think either at the beginning or the end of the VHS, they would have like a preview for that particular anime. And when that part came up, when they belted, I was just like blown away as like this 4 or 5-year-old because I was like, "Whoa, this is some serious shit." And then I never thought about it again.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the same thing.
I saw a trailer for Kimba as a kid, and then like. Later, I saw the 60s version, and I was kind of confused because the animation looked worse. And then I found out that there's like 50 million different fucking series of it.
Yeah. There's a billion different Kimbas.
Yeah.
3,000 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's closer to 3,500, but I say 3,000 in case people are going to be dicks and be like, not counting the opening credit theme or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Love it, 3,000.
Minutes worth of Kimba that exist.
Yeah. And also
comparing it to a 90-minute film.
Yeah. And also, because there was a lot of knockoffs of the Disney Renaissance films at the time, I thought that this was a film that was intended to be like some kind of knockoff of The Lion King, because Simba, Kimba. I was like, oh, what an obvious ripoff of The Lion King, obviously.
But the
I mean, like the closest visual similarities to The Lion King are found in the Kimba material that came out after The Lion King.
Yeah.
So if these people are making the claim that visual similarities equals like, oh, you ripped it off, then they're inadvertently saying that Kimba ripped off The Lion King in the same ways that they're claiming that The Lion King ripped off Kimba.
Yeah.
When The Lion King came out, I remember seeing like snippets of Kimba being played in some malls I walked through when I was a lot younger. So
yeah.
Someone's asking about my Blu-ray collection update video. I think I'm gonna aim for June. I have it marked on my calendar. I'll probably be announcing it in like a video at some point, but I think it would be good. I'll do it on the 10th anniversary of my channel creation date.
Oh,
sweet. It's in June. I forget exactly the date.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I wanted to congratulate you on 1 million.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
We did it.
Will you like search for another Frozen film?
There are other Frozen films that exist that I'm already aware of, but
oh my god.
I mean, one's like a really low budget independent movie from China that was kind of boring, but I didn't watch through the whole thing. We started watching it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this other Frozen because it looks funnier for the million sub one, and it was funnier.
I gotta say that therapist could be like a good replacement for the G-Man though, if anything.
Yeah.
There's also a really
be in the next patch of Hunt Down the Freeman. He'll be in it.
There's a movie that looks really. Sorry.
What was the Half-Life Alyx release date again?
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this has been a good month for video games. I gotta say.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Coronavirus notwithstanding, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, pretty great.
I mean, Ori and the Will of the Wisps was damn good. I have not finished it yet, but I'm really loving it. Yeah. And then I got Animal Crossing yesterday, and that just made me forget it. That we had a 5.7 the other day.
I'm playing Animal Crossing right now.
Yep, so am I.
Oh, Adam,
and then I have to play Persona 5 Royal when that comes out.
Yeah, we got Doom and the Resident Evil 3 remake demo, and the game comes out in like less than 2 weeks now, I think.
Yeah. Oh, the Resident Evil 3 game?
Or about 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, the remake of it.
Awesome. I'm hyped.
I am so curious if Alex.
Me too.
Yeah. I want to play that, but I still need to play the first 2 remakes. I'm particularly excited for 2 because I've heard a lot of great things about that remake.
So good. I just
a remake of Half-Life 2?
No,
Resident Evil 2. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I still haven't played much of that.
It was so much fun. My favorite game last year.
Yeah.
That game legit stresses me out.
Yeah, that game looks amazing compared to like the more recent Resident Evil games that come out in the last few years.
Sorry, which one? Resident Evil 3?
Well, Resident Evil 2, the remake looks, more amazing than the stuff that the Resident Evil franchise has been doing the last few years.
Yeah, I would say that the Resident Evil 2 remake is probably my favorite Resident Evil game.
Overall,
yeah,
really, holy shit.
It's way up there.
I mean,
I really did.
Yeah, like that and 4 and 7 are like my top 3, I think.
All right, so I never played much Resident
7's different. It's kind of fun, but
yeah.
But
my favorite's 4 and then the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for 3 because it's very similar. I did the demo.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I never played the original of 3 also, so it'll be like a new experience.
Me too.
Overall, anyway.
I have never played any of the Resident Evil games, so I'm hoping that the remakes will kind of,
the remakes are a good
into the franchise.
What currency is this donation?
I'm
gonna have to look up this.
On
in the super chat, I need to figure out
Can
what
you post
this
like a
symbol
screenshot
is.
in the chat? or
It's
like
an Indian
copy and paste
rupee.
it.
What is the conversion rate here? Thank you for the super chat. I just want to know what 100 Indian
Indian
to
rupee
CAD.
to CAD.
Oh, it's like $1.90. Nice.
Oh
Thank
my
you
god!
for the
When you said
donation.
100 movies, I was like, "Oh shit, that sounds."
Yeah, I
like
almost
a
thought it
lot.
was
And then it's
$100,
like
and I was like,
$1.
what?
I'm like, oh, so it's like the
Um,
Japanese
USD.
currency where it's a lot more than it actually, or it looks a lot more than it actually.
What's
I
like
have not seen any Bollywood movies that I like. I've seen a few Bollywood movies. I generally do not love them. There's one called oh shit, what's that one that there's the one where you see a bunch of memes of the gif of the guy that basically drift slides a horse sideways underneath a truck. I saw that one and that was pretty funny. And I've been looking for a DVD copy of that for a long time, and I have been unable to find one.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my favorite. I think it's called Aluda Majaka or Aluda Mazaka or something.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite Bollywood movie. But
Yeah,
in terms of like Indian movies, I'm looking forward to the Apu trilogy. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
That's a great trilogy. Great trilogy. The last entry in particular is like probably one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. And especially more powerful if you've seen like the first two films prior to that film.
Cake cooking. Oh no, please.
Anyway, continuing off of like congratulating you for 1 million, I want to say that I wouldn't be as much as a cinephile as I am now. So I just wanted to thank you for that. But also,
thank you.
A friend of mine who is also a big fan, we both started a podcast that's very inspirational to Sardonicast. And
yeah, that was something that a friend of mine.
Did you post that on the subreddit? I think I saw the post, but I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, it's called Eraserheads.
Oh yeah.
It's on. You can listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcast or Anchor.
Mhm.
I don't want to like plug it or anything.
Is it because you both have Ralph hair?
No, we actually thought of a few names. We thought of Two Angry Men. We thought of Under the Silver Screen.
God.
Yeah.
It's also Ralph's favorite movie.
Yeah.
No,
I've never actually seen Eraserhead.
We both love Eraserhead. We both love movies. We both love Sardonicast. We thought that, why the hell not, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, and so far I haven't seen a Lynch movie that I've liked.
I haven't seen a Lynch movie at all. I've just watched Twin Peaks. I'm lame.
I've seen The Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive, and both of them were fantastic in my opinion.
What do you think about The Straight Story?
Oh, I haven't seen it. Let's see. I think it's in my watch list. Give me 1 second.
What was I going to say? It's funny because I don't
try to remember what this is.
I think right now, like, the movie I've seen the most in a row is pretty much The Lighthouse because I've been trying to figure out some aspects.
Oh, it's not on my watch list. Weird.
What is?
The Straight Story. It's a Disney film by David Lynch.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, they're adding that to Disney Plus. I wasn't paying attention if someone said that or not.
So what is so special about Disney? Not Disney. Nothing special. What is so special about David Lynch anyway? I've never seen any of his films.
He's a very influential filmmaker. He essentially like popularized really weird like kind of meditative filmmaking where things don't make sense and it's more about like a feeling than an actual narrative. And it works well for some people. It works well for it doesn't work so well for others. I personally think that in terms of like finding concrete narrative or message in his films, I think that people read into his films a lot more than he does. And I'm not saying that people who love David Lynch are stupid or anything, but I would argue that the majority of his fan base more or less loves the tone that he's presenting more than anything else. I think that it's like the aesthetic, in the same way that there are people that are huge fans of like, steampunk aesthetic, and that's why they love BioShock so much, sort of thing. I think that David Lynch offers a very cool kind of like, ooh, it's dark, it's like grainy in a lot of these things that he makes, like that what was that called? Rabbits or something? It's like the whole thing doesn't make any fucking sense. But if you love the tone that he's presenting,
Rabbits. What?
Rabbits is. Have you not seen it? It's on YouTube if you want. It was his like he had like a web series, and then he put part of it into
okay. I thought you were talking about
Inland
the
Empire.
Netflix short film that he released semi.
Yeah, I didn't like that one very much.
Oh yeah, what were your thoughts on that? Just out of curiosity.
It was really David Lynch, but it was just I did not find much substance in it at all. It's one of the like, if David Lynch didn't work with that same composer all the time, I don't know if his films would be as good. Like the music adds a lot to the David Lynch experience, I think. And it complements his visual style very, very well. And I can understand the love for the tone and the aesthetic of his films. But yeah, he's really hit or miss for me when it comes to like the overall experience. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Troll Die Young?
What?
Sorry?
I'm sorry.
The Nick Refn TV show.
Oh yeah, I reviewed it.
Yeah, I have not had a chance to watch it
want
yet.
to, but cannot really find time for it right now.
Yeah,
I felt it was very...
probably could now because of the quarantine.
Still, I'm busy with a lot of things.
So. I just prefer movies much more than TV. I don't know.
I know there's some streaming shows that are really cool.
I forget if you so like there were 2 episodes of that show that premiered basically as a film at Cannes. I think it was episode 4 and 5 or something. And so you could watch that as a movie, and it makes just as much sense as not watching the rest of the show anyway. Like if you were to watch the entire rest of the show, it makes pretty much just as much sense. So
yeah,
I kind of remember they did something similar to that with Attack on Titan here when they were premiering season 3. I think what they did, they just played like I think the past few episodes as a 2-hour format. Like
I think they done that with previous seasons as well.
Yeah, I got to watch. They premiered like 2 or 3 episodes of. I think it was 3 episodes of Nirvana the band, the show at TIFF before it was ever like a series, which was awesome.
How was it?
That was great. I mean, I love the show. I've made a review of the show.
Where do I go to watch them anyway?
It's on iTunes.
Yeah, but
or torrent.
Yeah.
Both tear me. I swear. I don't like pirating, but I don't.
Well, we all do, but we don't want to say it. So.
I mean, if it's not possible to purchase it legally, I don't see any moral argument to make against piracy.
That's where I draw the
it's
line.
like if you don't want to sell it to someone, then how are they supposed to buy it anyway? You can't claim it's a loss of a sale if you're not allowed to buy it.
Well, that's how it is for me with like movies like the Star Wars despecialized editions. I can't find that anywhere.
And what if you're just sharing the DVD with someone, like with a bunch of friends, right?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't that much of an argument to make against piracy in general. It actually like helps sales.
Subjectively speaking, showing my friends the Lighthouse was considered in a sense.
You can't really find happiness anywhere.
Yeah, happiness is really hard to find.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're in quarantine, but.
Well, I mean, if you have Wi-Fi, you can just pirate it on, somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose so. Actually,
I mean, that's the only way that you can find it. It's just so hard to find anywhere. Yeah.
I wanted to also Nirvana band show. Matt Johnson is actually one of my biggest influencers, actually.
Yeah, he's great. I should get him on the podcast at some point.
30s was our first recommendation on our podcast.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but...
Hey, Adam, when on Sundarcast, when you guys were doing the Wizard of Oz review, you guys never seen Return to Oz?
No, I think
that movie
Alex and Ralph talked about it, but
Return to Oz would definitely be like that kind of movie that will be up in up in up in the alley of movies that are underseen, and but it's really interesting because like there's like one character that really looks like Jack Skellington in Return to Oz, and
oh weird,
and yeah, and it's just very, because I saw it when I was 5, and there's some reviewers where they were kind of turned off by it because they thought it was too scary for kids. But I mean, even when I was that young, I thought it was one of the best experiences I've seen when I was watching.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's on my watch list. I'll check it out at some point. I don't know when though.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like a lot of really cool things that it's great.
Yeah, I'll see it.
Recorded the new episode yet?
Yeah, I think it's out. Well, Ralph said he would publish it for like patrons and the premium people.
What review?
So I'm assuming it's out. Well, Ralph said he would publish it like yesterday or the day before. I don't remember, for patrons and
what?
The new Sardonicast.
Sardonicast. All right.
Yeah. So I think that should be up. Otherwise, like, it'll be public on Monday anyway. Is anybody here like a patron or premium?
Yeah. I was confused. I was like, I saw it. Oh yeah, I'm a patron.
Yeah.
Now that you rewatched Upstream Color, did you because when I watched it actually like a month ago. I didn't watch it like because of the recommendation. I was wondering what your thoughts on the editing, because that's one of the issues I had with it.
It's an issue. Oh, I love the editing. What's your issue with it?
I guess I've just never been a fan of quick cuts, except if it's like really necessary, like with Good Time, because I feel like that's a good quick cut film, or like with an Edgar Wright film.
Well, it's like kind of the timeline in Upstream Color. A lot of things are passing by so quickly that it's kind of like almost like a montage, which I like. I think it works well for the film, and I think the soundtrack really helps. And also just like the narrative that it's telling and the way that it's telling the story, I think that it makes sense. Like, yeah, it's a different way of telling a story where, like a year can jump by in like a short amount of time. Synecdoche, New York does that.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just that like, I mean, I very much liked the movie. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was great. Compared also to the budget that Shane Carruth had. But I guess it was like the scene where the two kids are like kind of high-fiving each other. I don't know what you would call it. And then it's the scenes like where he's like just walking around. I guess it kind of just like, I don't know, distracted me.
It didn't feel like cheap or anything. It didn't feel like that Taken 3 jump over the fence scene or anything.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I guess it was just a little distracting, but I don't know. I'm sure there's a purpose.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, search up Taken 3 fence jump on YouTube. It's like 11 cuts or something for like one action in like 6 seconds. It's really funny.
Sounds like Oscar-worthy editing.
Oh yeah, more cuts equals Oscar. There was more editing.
And the Oscar for most editing goes to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. That's how it works.
That's just like editing cancer right there.
Oh, there's a 10 hours version, so you know it's good.
Oh, yeah? Of him jumping over the fence?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh my God.
There should be at
Let me
most
take a look at
3
this.
cuts.
I just saw it for the first
It's like 13 cuts.
My gosh, yeah, I just watched it. It's like 15 cuts in 6 seconds.
3 cuts.
I
That's all
love it.
takes.
It's like when there's like factory movies like that, and like it's like how is that coordinated? Like that wasn't storyboarded, right?
I hate
There's
that.
no way that could be storyboarded. That was literally just like, we have all these different cameras and angles that are working here. Like, it's not even like that complicated of like a stunt or anything. It's literally just jumping over a fence.
Maybe they
wanted
just
to
like
show
didn't
every
know.
angle.
Maybe they
but
just didn't know what they wanted to do with it, and they're like, let's just take a lot of different, different angles for this, and then we'll
Yeah.
pick the ones that we like. And then it got to the editor room, and he didn't get the memo, and he's just like, all right, I'll
Yeah,
just use
just
them all.
no communication between
Yeah.
departments seems to be like a big thing in huge budget
Yep.
movies where
Yeah, running away
winds
from
up
a
making things
frickin-
look stupid.
running away from a
So funny.
doggo.
It's so good.
Right.
It's
There's
so
no
good.
single voice. There's
I think
no
the
like
worst
actual
shit is when
direction.
there's like a million cuts in like an action scene.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's frustrating.
I think some of the worst is from.
You just can't
Six
tell what's
Underground.
happening.
I think Six.
Oh,
Underground-
Six Underground had terrible editing.
I saw Goodfellas in theaters not too long ago, and
Oh, nice.
There was like, the theater near me does like a flashback every week. Not right now because they're closed down, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Rip.
see Onward, and then I was like, oh fuck that, I'm seeing Goodfellas. And
Made
it
the
was
right
really
choice.
good. Definitely, yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's that scene that's like 3 minutes with no cuts, or it might be like edited to just look like there's no cuts. I'm not sure.
No, that was real. I think actually.
Oh, cool. But yeah, I
Oh,
just
hey,
remember
fanboy.
watching that and being like, something's weird here. And then I was like, oh, there's no cutting. That's what's weird. I've gotten
Hmm.
used to how much cutting there is. Like,
So
in a
it's
Yeah.
the one in the restaurant, right?
yeah.
Where he's walking into the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some movies that do it really well. And there's a significant amount of the movie-going audience that doesn't even notice that sort of thing.
Probably not.
Well, yeah,
Unless
I
it's
mean, like, I
marketed.
took my parents to see Birdman when it was in theaters, and, like, I guess they didn't, like, after the movie, they didn't pick up on the fact that it was, like, masked to look like one continuous take, which I just found bizarre.
Really? I was very amused by that. That was one of the factors that really amused me.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Victoria. I kind of hardly noticed the one cutness. It was just kind of like there. I don't know.
That's the whole selling point of that movie, though.
No, I mean that's probably explains why I was so bored watching the movie. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't thought it was boring. I really liked it.
teach their own.
Apparently-
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like there's certain movies where you basically just have to advertise that if you're doing that, because like that's the majority of like the experience of enjoying it is like not even so much about watching the characters, but like thinking about the production in a sense.
Yeah.
And
Although I do
Victoria,
have to-
I mean, could have been better. Like parts of it were certainly sloppy, but given the fact that the whole thing was literally one take, is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as good as the one take opening scene of the Bye Bye Man.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
It's-
someone in my small town community when I graduated, because I'm from like a really small town in New York. Apparently,
Mhm.
someone in that community did some sound design on Birdman. So that was.
Oh,
I never saw Birdman, but that was
It's great.
Like, yeah,
Cool.
My favorite movie of all time.
It's a really
Oh, really?
it was pretty cool. Oh, really?
I just purchased it, so I forgot. I
My
that's
favorite-
Birdman's
favorite-
probably in my top 3 of the decade.
Damn, I should-
Maybe
My
top
favorite-
5.
the previous decade. Yeah.
My favorite movie of all time.
The
is
decade that it's in, yeah.
Children of Men, because there's a lot of really cool long takes in Children of Men. So
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah,
no one,
cinematography in Children of Men is really good.
no one in my
beautiful.
school really knew Birdman, so when he was like, it said that he was there, everyone was just like, oh, huh.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Is it
Irreversible is also a good long take movie. That's right.
Yeah, and
Is it weird that I don't have a favorite movie?
Yes.
No.
You don't have to.
No, I don't think
I just
so.
feel like a lot of movies aren't even comparable. Like,
Yeah.
because so many movies have so many different like goals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if you asked me like what movie is better, Rosemary's Baby or Oldboy, I wouldn't know how to fucking answer that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like with
Like-
Synecdoche, New York, or any movies like that, it just some movies kind of goes with you in certain ways, depending on when you saw it and how much you
Yeah.
grown.
Like,
as a
favorite
person.
doesn't... Sorry. Kind of interrupted.
No, I was just saying, but yeah, you go ahead.
Favorite doesn't necessarily need to mean best.
Yeah.
When I say my favorite movie, I don't mean it's objectively the best movie ever made. It's not like I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
like every quality of that film surpasses the qualities of every other film. It's one that I consider to be my favorite. Like, you know, all things considered, the measurable qualities plus how much it connects to me and how much I enjoy it, experiencing it, sort of thing.
Like your more personal movies.
I find it,
That's what
even
I consider to
harder-
be favorite.
I
Yeah,
find
yeah,
it even
me
harder
too.
with video games because like my favorite game ever is Night in the Woods, and then my second one is Resident Evil 4. So
Nice.
yeah,
For me,
Gael, do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah, my favorite movie is well, it's for the longest time. I don't think it's changed yet. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's Amélie, which is Jean-Pierre Jeunet, like 2003.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
you told me that before.
But it's like, but say that's the movie that's like not objectively like, you know, it's like like a 7 out of 10. You know, it's like a normal movie, but it means something. It's to me. I'm just translating it to the audience who may have not seen it. But like to me, it's just a personal movie. It means a lot to me. It really, it came to me at a point in my life where I really needed it, and really inspired me to do things that I otherwise wouldn't have done. And that's why I consider my favorite movie. Movies I really consider to be the best movies, or movies that I enjoy like in the same realm, would be like Arrival. I love Denis Villeneuve. Arrival and Incendie are both movies that I consider to be like other kinds of movies that I would consider favorite because they mean a lot to me. They're very personal movies to me. So yeah, I totally agree. It shouldn't be like what the best, objectively best films are. It should be kind of there should be an element of what is personal to you. I think there's a lot of people who use that to say things like, oh well, I really like this, Inside Out's my favorite movie for that reason. It's like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having certain movies that you enjoy that mean a lot to you, but the beauty of exposing yourself to more film and film that that's more artistic and on the fringes and independent is that you get more opportunities to have favorite movies that are personal to you, that are actually intended with that purpose too, not just necessarily to make money.
Yeah, to connect with not everybody, but connect really well to the people that it does.
Like a lot of people will tell you that like some of the best movies ever made will be like The Godfather, but I doubt the person who said that is their favorite movie is The Godfather. I doubt that.
Yeah.
And like
Depends on the person.
I mean,
I mean, it's like my second or third favorite.
Yeah,
third
like I saw
film.
Godfather, and like The Godfather is a good movie, but it's not like it's not like my favorite either. Yeah.
The Watchmen, my favorite. Woohoo!
Yeah. For some people it's good. For some people it's bad. It's good for me, but
I don't like the acting or anything. I just like the story. The story to me is good. It's consistent. It makes sense, and to me that's strong. So.
My all-time favorite movie is Legend of the Guardians: Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Cool. The visuals is
What?
impressive.
A Zack Snyder joint.
I mean, the animation looks lovely.
Anime movie. That was weird.
It wasn't bad. I don't think it was terrible. It was just like there was one scene that was fucking obnoxious, but the rest of it was fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't love Taxi Driver as much as you do, but I understand its relevance and I understand why it's regarded as such an amazing film. I
think Taxi Driver is my favorite Scorsese.
Mine, I don't know. I don't really have one, but
I've only seen it once though. But
I guess I've only seen 2 Scorsese movies, Goodfellas and The Irishman. And I'd have to say between those, I preferred Goodfellas. Irishman, I really started to feel the length after a while.
That was kind of the same for me, but it doesn't mean like I was not enjoying it, but I could not find myself to complete it any time.
You just gotta like. Sorry.
I
started to phase out. I just started phasing out and thinking about other things.
You gotta like mentally prepare yourself for a longer movie.
Did you guys watch?
You gotta like get into the mindset,
Is it weird that I was more interested in Jean Dielman than I was with The Irishman?
I like that movie a lot. I really like that movie.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
I love it. I don't know.
Either.
For me, the next one is like the Unforgiven was in the 90s, like the goodbye of the genre. Basically.
Sorry, goodbye to what? The genre? Like, what are you talking about?
That the Irishman for me is at least the ending part is like Martin Scorsese saying goodbye to the to the gender of mafia movie.
And then he brings
He's
it back.
basically saying that we are going to go. Yeah. Yes, this is my final mob movie. That's why you're feeling sad after watching this and feeling old because this is the end of an era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice that he had basically like kind of a love letter to it, in a way, with The Irishman.
And it's also ironic that the final movie of that filled so many theaters was released in Netflix.
Yeah, where are you?
It's almost kind of like a meta commentary on it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think Martin looked for it. It was just something for money.
Someone's wondering why I don't like the Tarr horse. From from memory, it was obnoxiously repetitive, and like in the same comment that I was making earlier about David Lynch, I could see how someone could love it for like the aesthetics, because it does a great job at, appearing very old, and just kind of like dreary and shit. But like honestly, parts of it were just like really, really comical to me. It's probably not a 1 out of 10. That was just like my feeling in 2011, coming fresh out of the theater.
You should watch it again.
Yeah, maybe, but like I think
I'll watch it with you.
It seems like even Bela Tarr fans agree that like the Tarr Horse and then that one, whichever one was from 2007 that I watched, are like his two worst movies. It seems like even his fans agree that those are like not his best ones. I still want to watch Santa Tango, or whatever that is. It's like 4 or 5 hours long. Apparently that's good. I'm excited. Like I'm not writing him off as a director, obviously. It's just there's some experiences that I didn't connect with.
What is the Turing horse about? What is this?
It's about eating potatoes. It's literally just about eating potatoes. That's
really?
it. It's like there's like a famine. It's like there's
like my
people
kind of
that are just like alone in like their fucking old ass home, and they eat potato soup, and they're like starving, and there's a horse, and doesn't really have much to do with the horse, and then the same song plays over and over and over and over again the entire movie, and every time that song comes back, it's like a fucking punchline. It's like actually, literally, there's one song in the entire movie, and they play it over and over and over and over again, and it gets very annoying.
Okay, not saying that they're similar, but do you think The Lighthouse took any inspiration
from the Tarr horse? I don't know. I'm not gonna like say that it's impossible, but the Tarr horse wouldn't need to exist for the Lighthouse to exist.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like there's things that the Tarr horse invented that the Lighthouse took from or anything.
The Lighthouse ripped off Kimba.
Yeah, it's true.
Simpsons did it.
Kimba did everything.
Lighthouse is a good movie for quarantines.
Yeah.
New York ripped off Life.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 days? 2 weeks?
I showed The Lighthouse to my dad. He liked it a lot.
Help me recollect.
Yeah.
Lighthouse
I had a feeling he was just going to love Willem Dafoe's character in general.
Mm-hmm.
He's so great.
That man's a national treasure. Can we just agree
Yeah.
that Willem Dafoe is...
I always wanted to see him in Death Note. Just go for the famous line from Spider-Man. You gotta go for the heart.
If Willem Dafoe was 23 years younger, I would love him to be the new Joker.
That'd be interesting.
If he was
He probably could have
23 years
played
younger.
that kind of role.
Actually, he was asked to
Counterpoint.
do-
Counterpoint. 23 years ago, he looked exactly the same.
That's fair.
Misery.
Misery.
I think he was asked to, or at one point he was about to be casted as Joker in the first Batman movie, but then was replaced by Jack Nicholson.
Everyone's wearing like headphones and a microphone. That's how they're talking. I can still see when I want to talk out.
Is there a conversation happening outside of the...
Sounds like it.
Good enough to pick up.
Is it Boards of Cinema?
Well, I gotta hear it, then.
All right, I'm gonna have to mute you for now. You can unmute yourself after. Sorry. There we go.
Speaking of Willem Dafoe, I know you've like touched on this briefly before, but I watched Antichrist a long time ago and I really hated it, but I know you're a big fan of it, so I wanted to like know your opinion on it. Like
Have I not given my opinion on this?
Well, I don't know.
No, you did. You did.
A few times.
Like why like it's like why you regard it as such a great film.
I talked about this on Sardonicast pretty.
Yeah.
I think I argued with Ralph about it.
No,
I can't remember.
Oh, I don't remember. I think I liked it more than Ralph and Alex, but
yeah,
from memory, it was like one of the earlier ones that we talked about. I think on the podcast, but yeah, it's a very. I think it really succeeds at like its tone and presentation. It like was very, very out there in terms of like filming style. They like built some like huge, crazy like camera rig that was controlled by like a computer algorithm that allowed it to like swing into place and like jerk around in this like closed room. I think that like thematically, the movie, you know, it makes more sense the more times you watch it and like understand what it's going for. It's disturbing. I love the overall experience of it. There's a lot of choices that it makes that go really against the grain of like traditional storytelling and filmmaking that I think work really well for the story that it's trying to tell.
I mean, I've only seen like 3 Lars von Trier films, and I've liked none of them, but
oh yeah, which ones?
One.
The only Lars von Trier movie I've seen full length.
Wait, that's not true.
Is the House that Jack built. I think that was.
Oh God, that's the worst one to start with.
Interesting one.
Well, I mean, nothing really bothers me. I mean, I actually when they got to when they were in the butcher shop with all the bodies, I thought it was kind of funny and kind of demented way. But
I really liked Antichrist, and I watched like half of Dancer in the Dark. Couldn't really
Is there any reason why you only watched half?
Yeah, I got like interrupted by something. I don't remember what, and I just didn't have the motivation to keep watching it because I was just, sorry to say it, I was just kind of bored.
Well, I mean, that's
like it gets interesting later on, but
nah, it's like a slow burn kind of thing. It's like kind of like a just watching things like slowly fuck up. You know.
What's his best movie? Would you say?
Dancer in the Dark might be my favorite. Maybe Antichrist. I haven't seen Dogville yet. Breaking the Waves, I think, is really great.
The premise of Dogville kind of reminds me of like a Charlie Kaufman-y kind of movie.
Yeah, I get that feeling from it even without having seen it.
Yeah,
seems kind of meta.
It's meta and kind of explores with more like an abstract kind of idea, and it's not too. I know I haven't seen the whole thing, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen Antichrist and I didn't like it, but I see it why it has praise. I saw the first Nymphomaniac, which was a joke of a film. Whatever.
Yeah, Nymphomaniac is not great in my opinion.
Yeah, Nymphomaniac was the first film that I watched from Lars von Trier, and then I watched Antichrist, and then The House That Jack Built.
I only
that's
saw
all
the
I've seen from him.
I've only seen the Nymphomaniac YMS, and that was the first thing I watched.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Though I watched Nymphomaniac when I was like, holy shit. I think right when it came out on Blu-ray in like 2014, and I think I was like, oh shit, I think 18. It was so many years ago, and I was like, wow, that was a great art film. And I think if I were to go back and watch it, I'd be like, no.
He's just like jerking himself off for half of it. Like Nymphomaniac and to some degree also The House That Jack Built. And it's just like, how much of this is just him trolling? How much, like, just because you're self-aware about it and you're saying, like, I'm aware that I'm doing this, you know, doesn't make it all that more, like, special.
And...
Lars von does like jerking off.
Yeah.
I remember all I remember is that part in YMS's reviewer is talking about the girl and the guy just sitting in the room together and talking about some random stuff, and it had nothing to do with anything. All was so funny. I guess.
Yeah. The Nymphomaniac was kind of painful. I could revisit the house that Jack built for sure. I loved the ending. No spoilers, but I loved like the last section of that movie. I don't think I'd ever watch Nymphomaniac again.
I don't think Lars von Trier likes to jerk himself off. I think he likes to talk about Ingmar Bergman jerking off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But The House That Jack Built is a film that I don't think I've had any more mixed feelings on in any other film, because there are so many things I love about that movie. There's so many things I hate about it.
I really gotta watch like a bunch of Bergman movies, and then I want to see that Bergman documentary just because there's like so many directors I saw on the IMDb page, like Hanukkah and like Scorsese, I think.
Yeah, Iñárritu.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, I think some people have compared Dogville to The Village. I actually saw that last night. That was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't seen Dogville yet. I think it would be a weird comparison to compare it to The Village, though.
well, I don't know. I just, I don't know. It seems to be that same thing of like The Village, this village and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't seen Dogville. I actually haven't seen any Lars von Trier movies. I don't think my parents are too happy about that. Yeah.
Man, I just saw Signs. I want to know what everyone thinks of that movie.
It was like pretty big for its time, and I think came out at the right time. There's things to like about it for sure. There's also like potential deeper meanings to it.
I was young and saw in the movie theater, and I was hell scared.
Yeah, it freaked people out when it came out for sure.
Chris Stuffin's movie?
Yeah. It is.
You really loved it.
In his book, it said that's the movie that inspired him to become a film critic. He saw it when he was like 14, and he loved it. When he went out to the car, he's like, I want to do that. I want to make movies. And then he got like a video camera for Christmas or his birthday or whatever.
To absolutely no one's surprise, the CGI is very funny nowadays.
Yeah, those monsters.
Well,
those monsters in like The Village were also very funny. I mean, because the first 10 minutes or so built up some real suspense. I was thinking, all right, this could be good. Then when the monsters show up, I was thinking, what the hell is this? They look so fake. Oh my god.
Well, I thought that like doing the whole grainy like camera for the birthday thing or whatever, like I thought that was a good choice to make the first reveal. I thought that worked well.
Yeah, I know, but
that was good.
Prefer they just didn't show the monsters at all, and then they did that first reveal. Like, it would have.
It does feel cheesier as it gets to the end of it.
Oh wait, you're talking about
really funny when the
movie.
big
Signs,
stinger comes out on the alien, and he uses it to put poison out instead of stabbing or whatever.
There's debate
because his kid has asthma.
There's in science there are debates whether or not they're aliens or if they're demons.
Yeah, I like that debate.
Yeah.
Okay, please excuse my ignorance.
Thought you were sorry.
Excuse my ignorance, but so sorry. But is this like one of the first movies that use CGI or something?
No.
No. Science. The
like
Shyamalan
to that extent, or
no.
I guess
no. Science is like late 90s or something.
No, way sooner.
Early
2000s. Oh,
2002.
Yeah, there are a ton of movies using a bunch of CGI before that point.
Like Spider-Man.
Have you seen Dragonheart from 1996? It's really funny.
When I saw it the first time, I was actually kind of wowed by it, but I mean that was when it already came out when I was very little. So
remember that for the recesses of my memory.
It's got Sean Connery playing a big dragon.
and as a kid, I thought it was really cool that the big dragon could talk, and
starring Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, Jumanji scared me and it looked real. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jumanji is terrifying as a kid.
That scared me. I that was one of the scariest movies when I was.
Right.
Yeah.
Like one of the few movies that scared me as a kid.
It just.
Adam,
and the movie kind of looked kind of ugly also. So.
I think you're the only other one who I know who was also like particularly bothered by the sinking into the floor thing.
Yeah,
that was fucked up. It's like claustrophobic.
When you brought up Jumanji on your childhood trauma thing, I was actually kind of surprised that was the one you went with, because it's like there's a lot of shit in that movie that's like potentially traumatizing, but I never even really thought about that one.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know, that freaked me out when I was a kid particularly. I don't know. Everybody has like different fears.
Everybody saw the remakes, the ones for The Rock.
The Plan freaked me out more.
Well, The Rock is more lighthearted and fun and not like a nightmare.
Yeah, it also wasn't even supposed to be a Jumanji movie. They made a completely different movie and then slapped the title Jumanji onto it after.
For money.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a completely different script, and then they were like, yeah, this could be Jumanji.
Well, I mean, the script is just people goes into a video game world.
We're talking about The Rock.
Well, yeah, and
the
like,
one, The Rock.
The plot is just them trapped in a video game world, but then they turn the video game to Jumanji.
Which is a laugh because they never even go into the jungle in Jumanji. So
but everything comes from the jungle into the real world in Jumanji.
Sure.
And they couldn't use Welcome to the Jungle and use the song. So
Yeah.
The hunter was like the weirdest thing in Jumanji for me, because it's like, really, you can't talk this guy out of it?
Yeah,
like,
he's crazy.
I just remember as a kid being really weirded out, where it's like, you can't reason with the human being at all.
No, because he's a part of the fucking board game.
He has
one goal, and it's to kill people.
The original Jumanji, they made like a reference to like some postal shooting that happened during the mid-90s.
Really?
Like where the hunter goes get a gun and he was almost aiming at the dealer and said, "Do you work in the post office?" was his response, which was in reference to like a real life event during the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Also, I think in the original Jumanji, the hunter that was the same actor as the father of Robin Williams was like the overcoming of the fear of his father. So that's why he always takes.
I didn't know.
At least it was very obvious. Like
Is
it's just the same actor of the beginning, just with a very fake mustache.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember if I noticed that last time I watched it or not. I might have just forgotten about it. It's not like a movie that sticks with me a lot. There's just like certain visuals that I remember, really.
Oh man, I just had an idea. Adam, like Sardana Cast, at the end of every one of these, you should give us all a movie to discuss next time.
Oh yeah, do that.
I would do
it. Do it.
Yeah.
Would that make me obligated to watch it also? Because
no, but we could just talk about it, you know?
Underworld.
I mean,
whoever wants to do it.
Maybe.
You don't have to. Just an idea.
We will be discussing Onward.
We will be discussing Underworld next time.
Underworld.
There's no. How can I get you to watch this movie again, Adam? I need you to.
We can do a commentary.
I just want to do it so badly. It's like.
Are we talking about Underworld, the shitty vampire? And...
The masterpiece. Yes, the masterpiece.
I don't know if I've actually seen it.
Have you never seen it? How we have to see it.
I've seen clips of it on television for like
one,
promotional and trailers and stuff.
Vampire one. Kate Beckinsale.
I think I've seen clips of it when they were like, "There's this new thing called DVD," and then they would show Kate Beckinsale shooting out the floor or whatever. And then...
that sounds right.
Yeah, I saw like most of it, but had to like leave before I finished it, and I have forgotten everything.
Yep, I can
every single fucking thing. Except
I know. I think I saw the trailer for it once. I was like, God, this looks so dumb. I don't think I want to watch this.
I can give you the plot of that movie off the top of my head. Like I know
Really?
the entire plot of that film.
Oh,
isn't there a guy who's like he's got like werewolf and vampire shit in him, and it's killing him? I think
Don't
that
get me started.
happens.
Don't get me started. This won't end well.
Twilight.
Twilight. We have to watch that, right? We have that, Adam, right? Like we have that on Blu-ray. I haven't seen it.
I have not bought the Blu-ray, but I
Oh,
don't
you
know. We
gotta
can
get
do
on
iTunes
4K
or whatever.
then.
Yeah.
Twilight? Are you talking about Twilight, the movie Robert Pattinson did before you?
Yes.
did the Lighthouse
You know, I had to make the
stuff?
joke about that, where he's like treating Willem Dafoe like a dog. I just had to say it was
like Bela.
Yeah.
Vexel, are you just talking about Underworld, like the first one of 5 films?
Yeah, 2003,
Okay.
I think.
You know, every time I see movies like
Third
Underworld,
film is funny as well.
every time I see movies like Underworld or Fast and Furious,
You actually like it, or it's a meme?
Well, I'll tell you what I like. I like this, especially like today. I like movies that are made like fully sincerely. Like that movie is sincerely trying to be badass. And that's what I like. And it fails. It's not really, but
Yeah.
it's so sincere. It's not self-aware. I hate movies that are like today. It's just like every movie is self-aware. Every movie's like, look at me, tongue in cheek. Huh, isn't that a bad joke? Like Deadpool and shit. It's like, fuck that. Give me like authentic, sincere, just cringe, right? And it's so
Neil
good.
Breen.
It's
a
refreshing.
Birdemic 1,
It's
not
just
a
refreshing.
Birdemic 2.
Underworld was.
Did you ever watch the third film, Boards of Cinema?
Which was the third Underworld?
Well, what's the third one?
Oh yeah, the third Underworld. Yes.
I have seen
again,
it.
I haven't seen any of the Underworld movies yet. You know, I don't think my parents would let me watch them. I'm only 16. They don't want me to watch gory movies and stuff. I mean, I may want to watch some stuff.
Yeah, the third film, the third Underworld film, is pretty funny as well.
Yeah.
You know, I do have to pose the question: what do you consider like badass films?
I don't know if that's.
Motorcycle
I don't know if that should be a
sequences.
goal. Should that be a goal of a movie to be
Motorcycles.
badass?
Well, yeah, no, the movie doesn't have to solely be badass, but it could have some badass
Oldboy's
It doesn't
The
have to be
Matrix had some
required.
badass,
Motorcycle
things going for it.
sequences.
I'd say the
Oldboy is
Matrix.
badass.
The Matrix and Oldboy are both good answers to that question.
And the Raid films are pretty badass
Oldboy,
films as well.
Oldboy has some of the best shots, cinematography I've seen in an action movie.
Absolutely.
I still haven't watched it yet, but I do have that 4K Oldboy restoration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that came in the mail. It's in a steel book.
I need to get it.
Yeah, I need to get that too. Shit.
I screen cap each frame of some of the really cool sequences from Oldboy. That's inspiring.
I now have 3 copies of Oldboy.
Nice.
Because I
did
got
anybody-
like I got the trilogy box set. Now I have this, which comes with like with like the UHD and an extra Blu-ray one.
Did anybody else see The Hunt 2020?
No.
I saw it.
Nope.
I thought it was
on
kind of
digital.
bad.
I enjoyed
Did
it
you
more
think
than I
it was
thought I
genius?
would, but it's still not great.
Is that the movie where like it's legal to kill conservatives or something?
That's
not
that's
quite.
nice.
But yeah, I mean, you got kind of the right idea. It's like it's a movie where like the political angle, it almost seems like it's trying to say something, but I don't think it actually is. I think it's just trying to like troll people in a way. Because like it doesn't like the quote unquote like the conservative, racist, homophobic characters in the film are kind of like not as unlikable as the liberal rich people that are like killing them, and I think that that's kind of intentional, but I don't like it. I think it's still being made from a liberal perspective, but like it just doesn't need to have that in the movie. You could have had the same movie with like a different goal from like the villains, and it probably would have just been better. It wouldn't have been a controversy, but still.
Yeah. And
Is that like the point? It's just supposed to be controversial, or
it seems like it was trying to be.
yeah,
It was really
seems
weird.
like it was made from like kind of a centrist, moderate point of view, and it didn't really succeed in its political satire because it just didn't.
It didn't have
know
anything to
where-
say. Was the
yeah,
problem?
it didn't have anything to say.
It was just like it was like a Friedman and Seltzerberg level political commentary, where it's just
Oof.
referencing things, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Tuckman
conservatives
really
say this
Without, like,
sometimes, and
actual-
liberals say this sometimes, but it
Yeah,
didn't really
and it-
have anything to say about.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
really delve into like, the heart of it and what makes those hilariously ridiculous under
Yeah.
certain contexts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys have many producers, analytics of trends. They will think this will appeal to every political center. So if we do it, we make the marketing thing. This is going to pass on the conservatives, and the other way they will buy more tickets just to see the movie if it's offensive to their side.
Yeah, I
If
don't know, because it's like a Blumhouse thing, but they spent more money on The Hunt than they did on like The Invisible Man, which is hilarious.
The Hunt is by Blumhouse.
Yeah, it's like a $15 million Blumhouse thing.
Wow, 15 million. That's not for
I don't know
Blumhouse.
if it was like always Blumhouse. I don't know, because it got like postponed once, and I don't know if Blumhouse stepped in after that point or what happened. I think I would have to assume Blumhouse was kind of like involved from the beginning, though. It feels like a Blumhouse movie.
Yeah,
It
they,
doesn't seem like
delayed it
something
because there was
Universal
this,
would just do without
shooting in
Blumhouse.
Texas.
Yeah. Blumhouse was in negotiations with Todd McFarlane for his self-directed Spawn movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's kind of up in the air. But like on social media, Todd McFarlane posted how because of the crazy success of the Joker, which was a small budget R-rated movie with a super villain anti-hero. Like Spawn is an anti-hero. Now a lot more studios are now more interested in his script and the team that he has for it, because he already has Jamie Foxx to be casted or be in line to play Spawn.
Good.
But the problem is his goal with the movie. He has said in multiple interviews that it's not going to be a superhero movie. It's like a detective supernatural thriller, and where they won't use the movie will only be made with $20 million, and so with that he will have as much creative control with the project, and for it to be a hard R, not just R, R PG-13, but like a really hard R, much like the HBO cartoon show.
Yeah, that movie. Any of you guys seen that movie Outbreak? It's on Netflix.
Let's see.
Is it
Probably
the one
not.
with Martin Freeman?
Actually.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
1995.
yeah, that movie
I have not.
Oh, I've seen that. I have seen that movie.
I'm just saying that movie kind of bugged me because it was technically R because of a few F words. Most of it just felt like it was trying to aim towards like a PG-13 rating, and all they did was a little bit of the profanity. Been R. I just felt like the studio was trying to fool people into thinking, the movie was really graphic and extreme because it was about a deadly virus killing people. But
it
was really like PG-13.
Does the violence or those aspects, is that kind of like in the same realm as like Stranger Things, where it's kind of like just PG-13ish?
Yeah, I just, and the profanity wasn't even like consistent. It's like sometimes they're swearing a little bit and other times they're not. It's just really confusing.
Like sort of like Stranger Things, or
yeah, I haven't seen Stranger Things.
Well, I mean, for Stranger Things, it's like, even though there are some horrific scenes, it's very tamed.
I just really think the entire movie would have been better if they just took out a few of the swear words and just marketed it toward the teenage audience, because that's what the movie was trying to go for. Clearly trying to go for the same crowd that has seen Clear and Present Danger or whatever. That was PG-13.
Yeah.
Anyone see Contagion?
Oh,
I've been seeing that in my
Soderbergh film?
Letterboxd feed. I've been
the
seeing that in my
Soderbergh film?
Letterboxd feed.
I saw that on your ratings though. You gave it a
Yeah.
6.
It's like in the top 5 Netflix viewings right now. It came out in 2011.
Dude, those movies
Steven
are making it right
Soderbergh.
now.
I watched it when it came out. I remember the environment when it came out too. People were like freaked out about it, even though there was no actual pandemic at the time. Yeah, and it's not bad. It's certainly not bad. Kind of cheesy, especially near the beginning, but it gets more interesting as it goes along. And it's kind of fascinating to watch now because like a lot of what happens in that movie is stuff that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and also there's Chernobyl, also. Like, that's kind of like that. I don't know.
I have that in my collection. I was planning on watching that, and I thought that like when I saw your rating, I thought that was like it would be like Ralph's recommendation.
Nah, I was kind of hoping he'd recommend it, but he recommended something else, which I haven't seen yet, but I hope I enjoy. So
Yeah,
you know what I think is actually kind of similar to the virus is 2 movies is Children of Men and The Host.
What do you mean by that?
Host? Which one are you talking about?
Wait, huh?
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah,
Bong Joon-ho's
not the
Host.
Stephanie Meyer host.
Yeah, I got to see Parasite.
Yeah, you got
in
to
the
specify
theater.
on that one.
Yeah, I somehow convinced my parents to like let me see Parasite in the theater. It was awesome. My dad didn't like it because of how violent it was, but I loved it.
Yeah, in Bong Joon-ho's host, there's like a lot of quarantine scenes like where everyone was quarantined, much like what's sort of happening right now. So
yeah.
Yeah, I saw
There
The
was that
Host
angle, wasn't
recently. It was pretty good.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie.
I mean,
yeah.
Hated, but I still thought it was great.
The first time
didn't-
where the monster comes out, that sequence was really cool. But
I didn't love it. But it was good.
Yeah, there were some good moments and good sequences.
Yeah, I don't think
that's more objectively good than personally like a favorite.
Yeah.
What's like the best Bong Joon-ho movie?
Parasite.
Yeah, debatably.
Parasite.
Yeah, I've only seen Parasite, but it's like great.
What's
everybody
would be
loves
next to
it.
Parasite then?
And there's that one other one called Memories of a Murder. I know. Like
That's coming out in the Criterion.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
which is good.
that's getting a
Okay,
Criterion
wonderful.
release.
Because finding a physical copy of Memories of Murder at like a reasonable price is, I can't like find it anywhere.
I got this a while ago, but I got it.
Huh? Wait, I don't know. I don't know
country is that
Hangul.
from?
I think it's a Korean Blu-ray, but it does have English subtitles.
I love how that was right next to you.
Because I was
but it's the same region either way, even if you don't have a region-free Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I got like a Brazilian Blu-ray that's also from Region 1, so...
Yeah, like my sister wanted to have like a South Korean film night, and I was trying to find Memories of Murder, and for some reason, like I couldn't find any Blu-rays, and the DVDs were super expensive.
Yeah, it might be like out of print or something.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's getting a Criterion release.
Yeah.
Adam, are you gonna check out Portrait of a Lady on Fire once it hits Criterion?
Yeah, that's my goal. I've been really like casual about getting to it.
I'm definitely gonna come and see because that's just one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah,
I'm also gonna wait until the Criterion release of Parasite.
I pre-ordered Roma like 3 or 4 months ago, and I got my shipment.
You still don't have it?
Yeah.
I pre-ordered literally on the day that became something that you can pre-order, but I still don't have it. I don't
Well,
know
if you have
why.
like a confirmation number in your email, maybe send them a message.
Yeah,
you never got it.
It's getting way too late. So
Yeah, I think I bought it like after it came out, and it came in the mail like in a couple days.
yeah, and also like Alfonso Cuarón, he's like one of my favorite directors ever. So
yeah,
I was really happy when I saw that Come and See was coming out because that's a film that I cannot praise enough.
I knew it was gonna happen. Because like
Yeah.
shortly before we did the podcast, they were released a new restoration like trailer basically on the Janus Films thing.
Yeah,
And
not only
that's
that,
pretty
but-
much a guarantee that it's going to get a Criterion release. So.
Yeah, not only that, but it was already on the Criterion channel since like April
Yeah.
of last year in like this shitty video quality, and I was like, I cannot wait for an HD release of that film.
Yeah, I want to
This quality
get the
does not do
Criterion for the
justice.
special features too.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I like
Criterion Hall of Election, Sallow, Punch Drunk Love, and Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah,
I want to
Yeah.
see all those.
I
Do you have the
want to
Funny
see like
Games
special
Criterion?
features. I own it. Yeah, I haven't like watched it. I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't watched
The
the
special
Criterion yet.
features of the Funny Games Criterion I really liked.
Yeah, but it's not the funny games that Adam likes more.
They should have released a double like feature
Yeah.
Criterion thing with both of them
I
on it.
don't know why they didn't do that. It's so
Yeah, I
weird.
bought the American version recently. I haven't watched it yet though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watch Salo with my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really, really liked the original. So,
Is there any other film that exists where I like the American remake more? Because Funny Games might be the only one.
obviously.
Departed, I don't know.
I actually haven't seen Infernal Affairs yet, so that one is undetermined.
I got one, Suspiria.
Oh yeah, but that's not.
yeah.
I mean,
Is that
it's like an
American?
Italian.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of and it was like shot in Germany. It's not really an American
yeah
remake, is
It
it?
could be shot in Germany and still be an American production.
It was in English.
It's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would call that an American. That's
American.
debatable there.
Yeah. Okay.
What about Millennium, the men's who killed the women's?
Which one?
Millennium, the one of Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara.
Millennium?
Oh, the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh, that, yeah.
I have it.
Yeah, actually, I preferred the what's his face? Why am I blanking on his name? Yeah, I preferred the Fincher version actually. So that's another one.
I know my parents definitely wouldn't let me watch that.
Obviously, Oldboy.
Vanilla Sky was a remake.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
I don't... Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that Vanilla Sky was a American remake with Tom Cruise from like a Spanish movie. And yeah, it's there are people, American viewers, they really enjoyed the American Vanilla Sky over the Spanish one.
Man, I'm not looking forward to Downhill. That looks like shit. Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
It's the American remake of Force Majeure.
Oh.
What's that film?
Force Majeure is a 2014 Swedish movie that was really good.
Yeah, you put it on your 2014 list.
Wait, Adam,
Yeah.
Yeah, can somebody post the name of that so I can look it up on IMDb?
FORCE space
just post in,
M
like, chat or something.
A remake that has a different title.
Well, because it's
There
for
we go.
Americans. You can't call it Force Majeure. No one will see it. You got to call it Downhill.
Oh yeah, another.
starts Will
remake
Ferrell.
that I'm very very excited about is Mark Webb's remake of Your Name of the anime.
Oh, really? Is that happening? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Yeah.
And you know what the okay, so Adam, do you not know what the premise of that remake is?
I haven't seen the original yet.
Okay, so
It's like
premise of the
2016, right?
remake is supposed to be that this white boy switches body with this Native American girl, and the whole point is that the white boy is supposed to save the Native American tribe. It's
really?
So
Not what
bad.
happens in the
What
original Your Name.
Is that technically white savior if he's in an
Yeah,
if he's in
it
a
is.
Exactly.
That's not what happened in the original. That's not what happened in the original Your Name. Holy shit, that sounds awesome.
And
Who's making that? I need to watch
every
that.
anime
The only thing
remake by an American studio is awful.
The only thing that can save that remake at this point is if they make it also kind of a film adaptation of Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," where they're
Don't stop.
Yeah, where they're talking about this small town girl on this midnight.
Oh fuck!
They're just using the lyrics from that.
That sounds
song to make a
awful.
movie.
Yeah.
Well, they made a movie out of like Beatles lyrics.
Oh god.
Yeah.
They made a movie out of Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah.
I made this joke review, making a joke about that, and it's no longer up because Letterboxd deleted the entry for the remake. Fucking assholes. That was a great review. That was one of my most popular ones too.
You didn't save it on your computer device or anything?
Oh no,
I didn't know they could
saved it
just
on
delete
I
your
saved it
fucking
on,
review.
Discord somewhere. So
I didn't see the original, but possibly The Ring. I don't know.
Oh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go find it
Yeah,
and post in the chat.
yeah, I like Gore Verbinski's version better. That's another one. That's true.
And maybe I don't know if this counts.
Yeah.
It's not an American remake, but The Thing was.
It's a remake, yeah.
Yeah, it's a remake.
Yeah.
Which I just saw that movie for the first time, and I loved it so much.
And in case anyone's
thing.
confused, we're talking about the 1980s one that is technically a remake. We're not talking about the 2011
Yeah,
movie.
it's a classic, but it's a remake.
We never talk about the 2011 one.
But I still have not
What
seen.
movie are we talking about?
1985, The Thing?
I still have not seen that yet.
Great movie.
Or was it
by the way.
1980?
82.
82?
I have not
Okay.
seen it.
82.
Yeah, and I was
Or the
just thinking-
1980s version.
You
of
haven't seen The Thing, though?
I did.
You gotta watch The Thing. Put that on your priority. It's like my favorite horror movie.
It's a great movie.
I know.
Amazing.
Even
My
more
favorite
so
horror
than-
movie.
I've only seen the 2011 remake.
No.
Oh, God.
I just saw the.
That's
82,
unfortunate.
Like 3
Yeah.
days ago. And
Well, we just picked up whatever was in Blockbuster at the
I
time.
shamefully still haven't seen the thing.
so many things make sense now after seeing The Thing, like in pop culture.
I've
yeah?
never seen like the original, like, what was it, 1950s one?
Yeah, I never saw
Yeah, me
that
neither.
one.
A Thing from Outer Space. That's what
Yeah,
back when movies
yeah,
had
that's what
the
it was.
cheesy as hell.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the 80s one is better, but you know.
Yeah, back when remakes were actually good and not trash.
Apparently, it was panned at the time.
Yeah.
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 And I'm just thinking.
Like The Shining.
It has
Yeah,
such
yeah,
good
Shining.
special effects, though.
Like
Yeah.
Stephen King
Practical,
hated
yeah.
the Stephen King hated the Stanley Kubrick Shining.
I know, it's hilarious. And then he made his own
Yeah.
miniseries and was like, this is
Yeah.
the real version.
Yeah, and also
And
like
it
there's
stinks.
this
It was
crazy
god awful.
There's this crazy story rumor where Stephen King had like this random phone call in the middle of the night from Kubrick, and Kubrick right out of the blue asked Stephen King whether or not he believes in God, and Stephen King said, "Well, yes, I do." And then Kubrick replied, "That's what I thought," and then he just hanged up.
Aha!
Yeah,
That's
just-
hilarious.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, like it's just.
I like to think that Kubrick made the Shining just to troll Stephen King, just to like make him mad.
Well, I mean, it's his.
Here, I
vision.
took your book and I made it better. Fuck you.
It's well, I mean, it's just he made the movie very kind of cynical on the human condition, and yeah.
You're aware of like in the opening sequence, there's like a car like in the ditch or whatever that like crashed or something, and like yeah, there's like you can see I believe this is just from memory, but you can see like another vehicle that's just like in the ditch or something. And that vehicle was the same vehicle that was in the original Stephen King novel, and that was Kubrick's way of just saying like, "Fuck your version, I'm doing my own thing," just like as like a subtle little fucking jab.
I'll look out
Yeah.
for that.
Oh my god,
Also-
that's so.
Yeah.
Also, if
How
you
accurate?
in the opening sequence, if you pause at the right time,
Oh
the
God!
car and Jack Nicholson, and it all just lines up.
If you play the
It's-
movie forwards
it
and
means
backwards at
something.
the same time, there are things that appear in the center of the frame at the same
Yeah.
time.
It's pretty,
Wow.
pretty
Jack
good. Kubrick was a
Nicholson,
genius, obviously.
he chases someone around a maze with an axe. He's a minotaur.
Yeah.
You have to fuck up really bad to make a documentary that is like that awful.
The focus in the center of the frame. Wow.
There are two documentaries that I like absolutely hate to that degree, like completely irrelevant of like any sort of like political perspective. Like it's one thing if I'm watching like some sort of like conservative like conspiracy like propaganda movie by like what's his face Dinesh D'Souza, like those like whatever, like okay, people are crazy, whatever. But then there's movies that are like completely irrelevant to politics that are just so bad that are documentaries, like Room 237 and Enter the Anime, which is another one. It's a Netflix original documentary called Enter the Anime.
I
I
heard you
really
talk about
that in like.
Yeah, I talked about it on
What do you think?
Sardonicast.
What do you think of that
people
film?
called it an
I didn't
ad.
see that episode.
Yeah, lots of people just said that Enter the Anime is just like an ad for like all of Netflix's anime stuff.
Yeah, it pretends to be something where it's like, oh, you're gonna learn about the history of anime and its influence on culture and stuff, but it's literally just some like dumb fucking girl who got hired by Netflix, and she's like in Japan, she's like, I know nothing about anime, and I'm here to become an expert. And the editing is just so fucking atrocious and awful. It's made by like a 14-year-old, and like half of it is just her being like, I'm in a sushi restaurant. Look at me, I'm in Japan.
Yeah.
And then the
Sounds
only anime that
fucking-
they actually talk about is just Netflix exclusive anime, and it's just one big
Those
ad for the
Studio
Netflix
Ghibli?
animes that exist.
Yeah.
And it's
Those
just like,
Studio
wow,
Ghibli?
literally,
Oh,
it's the extent of which like anime exists is literally just on Netflix apparently.
Yeah.
Those are the only
Oh,
important
yeah,
animes
and
to
the-
talk about.
Oh yeah, and the worst
Yeah.
joke to come out of that documentary was where she made this fucking joke about how there was more paper used for manga than toilet paper in Japan, and I'm like, do you not understand that they use a fucking bidet or whatever the fuck it's called in
Bidet?
Japan?
Bidet.
Bidet,
Yeah.
yeah, and that has way more to do with why they don't use as much paper towards toilet paper. Do you not?
I wonder
get
if
that?
the
You don't
coronavirus caused a big spike in bidet sales.
Yep,
Apparently it
100% it did.
One.
Apparently it did.
We're having a bidet
It's
shortage.
so weird. It's such a
Yeah,
weird
that's
thing.
expected.
I'm gonna see what it's like.
Yep.
You know, this is gonna sound weird, but we do have like a bidet at my house, but I don't think it's ever been touched.
Yeah.
I grew up with a bidet. I didn't have toilet paper till I moved to Canada. I'd never used toilet paper. I was like 14 years old when I first used toilet paper. It was insane to me.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, but that.
What's your
fucking
take then?
gross.
About bidets are great. I mean, I like bidets.
Yeah.
But now I'm just.
Did you
kind of
have
used
one
to
that
toilet
had like
paper.
warm water or was it like cold water?
It had 2 taps.
Nice.
It had like 2 taps, just like a sink. You could
That's
wash
great.
your hand. Yeah.
Bidets or bidet. What's it called?
Bidet.
Bidet.
T is silent.
Bidet. Bidet is better than toilet paper, honestly.
It would probably save you more money.
The only issue with the bidet, I will say, as a frequent bidet user, but the only issue I had
As a
is
bidet connoisseur.
it's really hard to dry your ass, especially if you only have one towel and you're sharing that bathroom. I will say that.
Oh god.
That's
Jesus.
so yeah. I'm just putting that one out there.
I have an idea.
Okay.
It's not easy to
You
dry your
dry
ass.
your ass with something that like you wipe and then throw in the toilet.
Oh
But then
my
at
god.
that point, you just use your
It's still
toilet.
like, can you imagine if someone just wiped their face with that? Like, it looked like
You just put the towel on the bidet. Your ass
It's
is
a part of
clean.
the
You have to-
culture.
hopefully you've cleaned your ass at that point. So it's a
Oh
clean,
my
you know,
God,
it's
that's so
it's the
gross.
equivalent of like, I don't know, like drying your armpits after a shower, right? Like think of it that way as opposed to like, you know. But still,
Yeah.
it's just, it is not
There's
it's
still
not
like
the best.
bacteria
I
though.
thought you double
little
up
bit, yeah.
on with like toilet paper and
what
just
if
use
you
like
don't
a
do a
small
good
amount.
job?
I mean, there's still bacteria after toilet paper,
don't
but
know.
it
Yeah.
doesn't help.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know.
That's kind of why I refuse to watch Doctor Sleep, because The Shining is such a special film in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
not only is it just
Yeah.
my
Chris Duckman gave it an
Yeah,
A.
but Dr.
He gave
Sleep
Dr.
is-
Sleep an A.
He likes
it's not
it a
only my
lot.
favorite horror
Well,
movie, but it's
Dr.
just
Sleep
my
is more based from like the actual book, and unless you read the book,
Yeah,
you'll-
I don't
but it's so
recommend it.
stupid because they couldn't decide between the book and the Kubrick movie. They were trying to do
Well, I
both.
don't feel that
Yeah,
really
I think they
were
just
trying
Like, do you
wanted
wanna-
to please
But
both
I think they
and try to
kinda
find
did
a
a
happy middle ground with that, and it just pleased not many people. Apparently,
I mean, a lot of people
I-
really enjoyed it and were like kind of upset at my review.
Yeah,
It didn't make a lot of money, so not a lot of people saw it. But I
Again,
think
Chris
most of the
Pratt
people that
made
saw it
it.
enjoyed
yeah, I
it.
guess I
I
should
thought
rephrase
Dr.
it to it
Sleep
just
was
didn't
is
really
interesting.
appeal to
Like,
a
it's
lot of
not
people.
perfect, but
the
like
combination
it's.
of
I mean,
the
it
two.
didn't
That's
look
what I
good
should
from the
say.
trailer, so I was kind of surprised how many people liked it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, I actually thought the movie was getting a lot more interesting as it got to the manner.
When I saw the trailer, my dad and I were like cringing so hard.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a trailer. You should judge it by the movie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Well, yeah,
people
if you
went
love
to
The
see
Shining, you don't need to see Doctor Sleep. You just
Just
don't.
The Shining is
Yeah.
such a. It's
Again, Chris Duckman gave it an A, so maybe people were like, "All
Oh,
right,
yeah,
maybe it's not
yeah,
that
that's
bad."
kind of typical.
Yeah, but I think he kind of gave it an
I
A
kinda
just
predicted that.
because he kind of compared it to how like when The Shining came out, it didn't got the best reviews, and so did Doctor Sleep. So he kind of has his theory that maybe over time people will like it more.
No, I don't see
I
it.
don't know about that.
That's gonna happen with M. Night Shyamalan movies. I
Yeah.
guarantee
The early
it.
ones, at least.
Then again, the first Razzies ever, didn't they like?
What?
I think Stanley Kubrick like won worst director at the
No, I
first
think he was
Razzies
nominated.
ever.
I don't know if he won
The
worst director.
actress did,
I mean, I don't really.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, Razzies are
For
is
what?
Not really super great satire.
Razzies aren't.
honestly.
Shelley Duvall did, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
Cats
sad.
took-
Yeah, they
Yeah,
tried.
Cats-
Yeah, they also nominated Mother, and I'm like, fuck off. With
They
that.
they nominated Donald
Which
Trump
one?
for Fahrenheit 11/9.
Oh yeah, and I think they nominated the score of The Thing, the '80s John Carpenter film, for worst original score at the Razzies.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Razzies
it's
are
a-
essentially just like cinema score if it were an awards show.
Yeah,
And cinema
it's
score is
like-
bullshit.
Yeah, it's cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinema score is something that I look at and I'm like, this is fucking arbitrary bullshit that means absolutely nothing. If I want to know what the audience thinks, I'll go on like IMDb or Letterboxd. I'm not gonna go on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look through
Metacritic
fucking
is also-
I
cinema
wonder. I
scores.
wonder
I
what people who
remember-
don't care about movies think about this movie. Like,
I remember
funny thing
last
is
year
about-
they
Yeah.
last year they nominated Donald Trump for worst actor in like Fahrenheit 11/9, and it's like, and it's like, hold the fuck on. By definition, he's not an actor.
The ceremony is a joke. You should not. It's not made to.
And it was like worst on-screen
yeah,
duo,
no,
Donald
yeah,
Trump and his
it's just,
ego, and it's like,
it's
oh,
just-
this is so fucking
yeah,
dumb.
it sounds pretty pandering.
Yeah, as satire, the Razzies just really is. It's not good.
The
as
Razzies is a
even satire.
It's a Wikipedia meme
It doesn't
event.
have to be in here.
Yeah. Let's pick the most widely criticized films of the
that could be
year,
in here.
or most widely criticized aspects in a film of the year, and just nominate that. Isn't that funny, guys?
Get the
Yeah,
cat
and
out.
they had an award for like blatant disregard for safety, and I think they like either nominated or like gave it to Joker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
and the
Like-
funny,
fucking
but the funny thing is about like the Razzies is that like they actually gave Adam Sandler the Razzie Redeemer Award for his work in Uncut Gems, yet audiences hated it. They were like, "Oh, it's loud and abrasive and has tons of swearing. I don't like that."
I don't like how the Razzies is considered like influential and important enough to be listed on like IMDb and Wikipedia,
And
but the
Rotten
420
Tomatoes-
awards is not.
And
Yeah,
I
Rotten
think the
does not
420
have
awards
that
should be
at all.
listed on
Oh.
Wikipedia so that when you go to The Incredibles 2, you see it won Best Stoner Movie on Wikipedia. I think that should
Oh
be.
yeah,
I'm
that's
offended.
funny. That's funny.
I wanted,
So when you, like,
wanted
go on
intelligent
Rotten
comedy in my
Tomatoes-
awards.
So-
Watch the
But
420.
when I smoke a joint, I just want to watch The Incredibles 2. That's my favorite stoner movie
When I
of
saw
all
that
time.
Wikipedia, I wanted to like rewrite that.
I am kind of curious to see what's going to happen with like the 420 awards now, because if you do like an Adam and Pals, I wouldn't be surprised if like Daddy Derek tried to copyright strike you now that he's like charging
Ooh.
for it.
No,
yeah,
because I'm first of all, my content is fair use. Second,
wouldn't stop
in
him
the
from
most
trying.
recent video that he has now deleted, but I downloaded, he literally flat out said that my commentary on the 420 awards improved his sales and his business. So I'm hanging on to that. He's deleted it, but I'm hanging on to it. If he ever goes to court, I have that. So whatever. You can't
Yeah.
claim
Is
loss
this
of
like
sales
a-
now.
Deal it.
Is this like legit, like a year-by-year thing now? The 420.
Will it be canceled this
He
year?
says it's still happening even despite the coronavirus. So
Oh, that's
Okay.
insane.
Well,
I'm
I
so
mean,
excited.
it's
'cause it's a
Vegas.
I don't know
Vegas
how he's gonna
Vegas
do
is
it, but he says
um,
it's still happening even though like all of his acts have dropped out.
Well,
I mean, it is it's legal.
I'm sure it's possible to do it in Vegas, given how.
We'll have to see what happens in a month.
Remember,
Really?
it's a gathering of less than 50 people, so it can still go ahead.
Yeah.
Has he like talked to you since he like brought up like the potential of you being there? Or...
No, I don't think I've even gotten an email.
Yeah.
I think he just assumed I would do it, and him saying like, "Hey, if I get 10,000 pre-sales on the stream, then Adam from YMS will be here." It's like, you didn't even ask me. I'm not gonna do that. Coronavirus or not, it sounds like a bad idea.
He's so slimy. I can't believe it.
That's
There
fraud.
was like the guy.
It wouldn't be the
who-
first
who-
time.
the guy who-
Yeah, he's fucking scammed YMS fans before.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Uh,
invite
Monkey
Monkey.
Jones
He'd do
fans.
it.
The guy who is who dresses as Cool Cat, he legit did not
Jason
want to go to
Johnson.
the like he did not want to go to the 420 awards, and in one
Mhm.
interview he sounded very uncomfortable about when he was suggesting that.
I mean, they're not working together at all anymore.
Yeah.
He is very uncomfortable around Derek, and he doesn't want
Yeah.
to associate. He does not want to associate with him. It's the same.
So hopefully now Cool Cat can be at the next 420 awards if Derek is performing as Cool Cat.
Yeah, he'll
Then
be
that can
smoking
happen.
a
First
joint.
time I ever saw.
He'll be
I
getting
remember
so
the first time
high.
I remember the first time I ever saw footage of like Daddy Derek as Cool Cat. I just lost my shit.
Kind of disturbing.
It was so
Yeah,
fucking
it's in the
funny.
It's almost like more sad than funny.
Yeah.
Like wow,
Daddy-
Cool Cat has an accent all of a sudden.
It's
And he's way
such
shorter.
an interesting saga, and I don't know at what point do you even
No, the whole thing
compile all of the information?
Maybe at some 420 word can I joke about that?
Yeah.
In a
Because like
couple
I was
years, are
talking
we
to
gonna-
Fred from Down the Rabbit Hole, telling him how I want him to make a Daddy
gonna bring that
Derek
up.
video, but he's like, yeah, it's not like done yet. So like,
Exactly.
at what point do you
years,
make
we'll have a
the
documentary.
whole conclusion?
Fahrenheit
It's still
420.
going. There's like
When
so
Daddy
many
Derek is-
chapters in this story.
The conclusion will be after Daddy Derek dies from the coronavirus.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, don't joke about that.
No.
We don't want that to happen.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
Fine.
we don't
Yeah.
want anyone to die. That's
Yeah.
No, I didn't
hope-
say
I hope
wanted
Derek's okay.
him. I didn't
This
say.
whole coronavirus thing has made me want to see It Comes at Night. It's on Netflix.
It's a little touchy.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, please
yeah, I
do.
saw
It's
it.
a
It was a
great
good
film.
film.
I
I
may
saw-
be
I
the
saw
most
It Comes
calm
at
about
Night
this
with-
whole virus thing right now, but
It comes at night. Like I saw like with director's commentary between Trey Edwards and the one actor who played the son, and they had like really good chemistry with each other. Like
Yeah, it's a great movie.
but the son, but the actor who plays the son, he has really good chemistry with Trey, and it seems like they will continue working on future projects together.
Wait, who?
Yeah, I hope
which-
so.
Wait, who's?
Yeah.
The kid from It Comes at Night, and I think he was
yeah.
also in
that was
Waves.
in,
What's his
Waves,
name?
right? Yeah, I was getting ready to say that.
His name is Kevin Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah, he's actually kind of a great up and coming actor. He was
yeah,
in his film
he
called
was-
Lucy. He was great in that as well.
He was excellent in Waves. Like he did a spectacular.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute.
Okie doke.
you know, I have to ask Grand Stella Manker. I don't know. Is Beastars any good?
Oh yeah, I love it. I will say though, the Netflix release has like really bad subtitles.
Oh really?
Yeah, I had to turn off the subtitles because
Yeah,
of
they
that,
turned-
but, otherwise, it's a good anime. I like it as long as it's not really the biggest
which
anime
anime?
nerd in the world.
They turned Louis into Rui,
What?
and they turned Haru into Hal in like the episode descriptions.
What anime
It's
are we talking
Yeah,
about?
Netflix done fucked up.
Beastars.
B stars. Okay.
Yeah, Netflix and anime. I mean, they rarely, if ever, go well together.
I'm pretty sure Adam was watching that yesterday.
I really don't like the way Netflix presents like some anime shows, especially what
and they didn't even
like
they didn't even do subtitles for like the ending songs. Like at the end of every episode.
And what was it? End of Evangelion, or the movie of Evangelion, like in the first scene where it's been a while since I watched.
Are we spoiling
spoilers?
Because
I haven't seen it.
Don't spoil B-Stars. It's so new.
Adam, are you planning on watching
Don't spoil
B-Stars?
Evangelion. Don't spoil Evangelion.
But I do have to ask though,
Yeah, no spoilers.
Is it better to watch on
They changed the
Crunchyroll?
dubbing of Evangelion so that
Is it better than what?
Is it better to watch on Crunchyroll?
Right.
Which B-Stars?
It's not on Crunchyroll.
Is it not? Where the hell do I watch it?
Netflix.
It's Netflix exclusive because it started as a Netflix original in Japan.
Yeah, there's like a fan sub or something that's supposedly better subtitles than the Netflix one, though.
Yeah, the first
Have
time
you tried
I
to
watched
watch that
B-Stars.
show, Adam? B-Stars?
Sorry?
Have you tried to watch B-Stars?
Yeah, I've seen the first 9 episodes. I enjoy it.
Oh, you're almost done then.
Yeah, I liked it. Fine.
Salamaker said you really love it, so.
While we're talking about TV shows, I guess I wanted to ask you something, Adam. Have you seen Wonder Chosen?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I've seen everything that PFFR has done.
Yeah, I figured you would since you put like Xavier Renegade Angel on your guilty pleasures list. I think. Do you have Wonder Chosen on one of your guilty pleasures list or top 10 list or whatever somewhere? I mean, or is it too early? Or maybe.
Sorry, what was your question?
I was actually asking you. You know, you had Wonder Shows on one of your guilty pleasure lists or top 10 lists, but then I realized it's not in a year you've covered.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I've just never seen you mention that in any of your videos, or maybe I just haven't seen the video which you mentioned that. I don't know.
Wonder Chosen was like a big inspiration to like my editing style, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah. Have you seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? It's
stop.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Oh, of course.
The one episode where don't waste your time and you melt into guts and all that. So
yeah, I've tried the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared thing on YouTube. I really like the first one. I'm not a big fan of any of the sequels.
What was the first one about wasting your time?
No, like the sketch pad saying "Get creative."
Oh, yeah.
And they're all drawing, and it gets like really fucked up.
The one that is more profoundish was the "Don't waste your time."
Yeah, I think I saw that. It didn't leave as much of an impression on me as like the first one.
Green is not a creative color.
Time can be scary. Yeah.
I don't think 2 and 3 are as good, but I think 4, 5, and 6 are absolutely phenomenal, especially the 6 finale.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Didn't need to be a series.
Yeah, but overall, I thought the way they started forming a whole story with 4, 5, and 6 was really good and stuff.
Yeah, the ending, explaining everything was great. It was a great reveal, I think.
I watched it all and I don't remember it that well.
Yeah, we never got that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV show. They promised something like that all the way back in 2018, but I never heard anything.
I don't think we need it, honestly, though.
Yeah, probably not. But I think that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared short was screened at some film festival. I'll look it up.
Oh.
That
wouldn't be surprising.
The short film that I've been working on, I already submitted it to 2 festivals, including 10. So I don't know how that's going to go.
Film festivals are canceled.
Oh no!
Except for TIFF and VIFF at this point in time.
The past 2 years, I've submitted my animated film, and this is 1 year where I'm done. It's been seen enough. So.
Well, the one festival that I submitted to was a teenage festival, so that's exclusive to people like me. So I don't know. That's better or worse. But I also submitted to
Yeah.
TIFF because even though my chances are obviously not great, I still thought why not, because it's obviously a great experience even if I just go, because I'm sure it'll still, because they ain't plan on closing it yet since it's so far away.
Yeah, there's no plan to postpone TIFF yet. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, my film was rejected by TIFF when I was submitted to them.
I plan them. I expect them to reject mine, but it's still whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, there's other festivals that are. It's pretty cool.
I'm very excited when I submit feature films.
There was one film festival where my film outbeated a Disney Oscar nominated film. So that was kind of cool. One small step.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In one competition, my film beat it out that one.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end this hangout fairly soon. Are there any final questions or comments or anything that people wanted to ask?
Yeah. So just one quick thing. We brought up Bollywood earlier, and just want to post this clip in the chat. It's like a clip from this full movie that was posted on YouTube, but it has like the funniest 9/11 sequence ever in film history.
9/11 sequence.
9/11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 9/11 and funny aren't two words.
Oh yeah, and it's like Bollywood's attempt at recreating 9/11, and it's done in a Bollywood way, and it's one of the most unintentionally hilarious things I've ever.
Oh no.
Just put the link in the YouTube chat.
Bollywood's fucking funny. The editing. Oh my god, I can't deal with this right now.
I need to recommend a subreddit. There is a subreddit dedicated to Bollywood movies. It's called r/.
Yeah. Okay, and I should post the name of it if you want to try to find it in the chat as well.
Yeah, I saw like a Bollywood thing that my friend sent me of like these soldiers, they like get together in a catapult and stand back to back with like their shields like perfectly linked together, and they're catapulted onto a castle, and somehow they don't fucking splatter all over the fucking place. Like land and start killing people, and they don't die instantly on impact.
Amazing.
Is Slumdog Millionaire Bollywood?
It's like kind of a parody of Bollywood almost. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a homage to Bollywood. I don't think it's a parody of it. I call it more of a homage to it.
Or love letter,
because it doesn't mock it in any way, and and it pays respect to the
what
country.
it's not, parody, homage, whatever.
It's like the most commercialized of a Bollywood style movie, but
American Bollywood.
I think at the time it did expose to some American viewers about how cool Bollywood is, if you're into that.
Yeah, the Bollywood dance at the end, no spoilers, is one of my favorite. Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes in any movie.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is Wakaliwood still banned from Twitter?
No, I think they're back.
Okay, that's good.
What's Hollywood?
Ugandan is who
cinema?
killed Captain Alex.
Yeah.
Is there actually
people get banned from Twitter like all the time for like no reason?
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I got banned. It
It
looks like they're back.
Like they banned Satan, I think, just because someone made like a bot to fucking mass report him.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, I saw you like rate this like a long time ago, but I just wonder what your thoughts were on this. Have you know the movie Mean Creek?
Yeah.
With the kid from Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Josh Peck.
Oh yeah, where Josh Peck's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
meme.
don't spoil.
No, I'm not spoiling anything.
I was wondering what
but
your
it's,
thoughts were on it, 'cause I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I think I own the DVD somewhere. Yeah, it's. I enjoyed it a lot when I was younger. I would probably still enjoy it, currently. I remember there being some decent like young performances in it.
Was Josh Peck one of them?
Yeah, for the character, I remember him doing a good job. We'll have to see how it holds up, but
yeah,
I remember enjoying
the
it.
meme is funny though, out of context, because he just calls someone, the F word, and the C word. I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect this out of Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Also, if say that the virus did die down by the TIFF time, and you were still going, would you be, and my short did get in, would you consider seeing the short there?
I would consider it. I don't know if I'd do it. The problem is when they screen shorts at film festivals, you're basically signing up to watch like 2 hours worth of shorts.
Oh yeah, they
don't just have a separate screening for every short. They like compile them by category.
Yeah.
And I'm not really like all that interested in shorts. Like you could always just like upload it to Vimeo with a password protection and send me a screener. Like that wouldn't be different. Right.
That doesn't sound appealing at all,
Yeah,
honestly.
and like when I'm at TIFF, like my schedule's so packed, I'm seeing like 4 movies a day basically of a lot of shit that I like am really, really like is really important for me to watch, I feel. And so it's difficult to make like, changes to the schedule in that way that, there's already things that I like really, really, really want to see that I don't get time for, unfortunately.
100%.
One big film festival that's like in October, not October, but September in Austin, Texas is Fantastic Fest. So hopefully the corona won't be too.
Yeah, that's one that I miss every year because it's so close to TIFF and VIFF, but I would like to do it at some point.
I've been to Fantastic Fest twice, and the last time I went there last year where I did saw Knives Out and Parasite, I had a really good time.
Yeah, I would like to do Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, like I actually met Ryan Johnson and went at like an after party and
nice. Did he subvert your expectations?
I don't know, it's just...
No comment.
I never understood.
I'm glad I got back home from Texas, like before the quarantine shit.
I never understood the big hype around Knives Out. Like I thought it was fine, but like
I really liked it. For me,
it's pretty good.
That was one of my favorite films of the year, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's subjective, but for me, it's my favorite from last year, next to Parasite.
I like whodunits.
Sorry.
I mean, I have to admit that Knives Out isn't like Parasite, but I saw it in the theater with my dad, and we both really liked it. It was really funny and fast-paced.
Yeah.
I have it on 4K.
And I think
I just bought it on 4K too with a bunch of other films.
The subversion
I don't have a lot of 4K stuff.
And Knives Out was a lot more effective than like I mean, it really worked with the story. So
Three Billboards, like Lion King, Knives Out, and Oldboy. Those were all of my 4Ks.
I love.
And by the Lion King, I mean the good one.
Yeah.
2019. Yeah, I have the slipcover version.
I'm not giving those cocksuckers
4K,
my money.
So very happy.
But you did.
I bought
just for a different movie.
I bought it used.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, Disney's like getting so desperate for money these days. They're literally making a movie called Jungle Cruise, which is their second movie based on an
how they're desperate for money. Like they're not desperate.
The Rock in it.
They're not desperate at all. They own everything.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney owned a plot of the moon.
I enjoyed the production design of Knives Out, but I feel like once you hear the twist at the end, I feel like a lot of the scenes prior to that didn't really feel like they fit, and they also didn't feel like they made sense to me.
Well, I mean, it's kind of supposed to, have red herrings, right? It's supposed to keep you guessing. It's kind of like an homage to like Clue, basically.
Yeah. And I mean the way that Daniel.
It gave me Clue vibes.
Yeah. When I first saw the
trailer,
no spoilers. I thought it was a Clue movie.
Yeah.
I guess it just felt like a waste of time to me, but that's just me.
Then again, it was kind of different from most whodunits when you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta go. Sorry to interrupt.
As
Thanks,
far
Adam,
as
for letting me be.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for hanging out. Any other final questions, comments before we end the thing?
Yeah, I guess I have one. You know,
Yeah, one at a time.
What is your favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie? Because I saw Phantom Thread, and I guess I thought it was okay. I really want to watch it again though. And then I saw There Will Be Blood, and I thought it was great. I want to see Magnolia and The Master since they're on Netflix.
I haven't seen The Master yet. I really want to watch
Yeah,
it.
The Master's great. I think currently it would probably be There Will Be Blood.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, like, he's got a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
Master's the best.
Yeah, I'll watch The Master again. I think There Will Be Blood might be my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally want to watch that. I'm totally gonna watch that again since it's on Netflix.
I still haven't seen Boogie Nights.
I've seen it. I really like that.
I have not seen Boogie Nights either.
I enjoyed that movie.
Boogie Nights is pretty cool. It's very Tarantino. Boogie Nights. Yeah.
Have you seen Hard 8?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next in the line of final questions and comments.
Me?
Sure.
I wanted to mention something earlier about the racism. You mentioned that the last year they nominated Donald Trump. They also nominated George Bush for some other movie of Michael Moore. I don't remember.
Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah. For which year? Sorry.
2004.
I don't remember the year. I only know that it was nominated for that movie.
Oh, 2007. It was like
Worst actor
Sicko or something.
Oh yeah.
No, it was Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Fahrenheit 9/11.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that when it came out. I enjoyed it. I would have to revisit it to have any like strong opinions on it. It's like I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apologies.
And then Fahrenheit 11/9 was like meh. But
yeah, the whole movie should have been about the Flint water crisis. Honestly, that would have made for the much stronger documentary.
Yes.
I mean, it touched on it, but
I mean, it touched on it, but I feel like, you know, as someone who's from Flint, Michael Moore should have made a full documentary dedicated entirely to that, since that was by far the best part of Fahrenheit 11/9.
Yeah.
Apologies if I've been like talking too much, but how would I possibly send you a screener link? Would I just send you a link to?
You can send me a message on Patreon.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought there was like a specific.
Yeah.
I sent you a message on Patreon, Adam, about Wonder Chosen, but you never responded.
Yeah. I usually check my messages in batches, so like sometimes it'll be like a month before I check a message.
All right. That's fine, because you know you're still trying to finish up that Lion King review. It must be over an hour since. Work.
Check your
how soon will
check your
Kimba
email
be
when
out?
you get the chance.
Okay.
How soon would the Kimba review be out?
I would say like hopefully that there's only like a week or so left in this month, isn't there? A week and a bit. Early April.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. No rush.
I still need to like I'm about like halfway done like the voiceover part, and I'm about like probably a quarter done the editing part, but that's all assuming that like it's going to be the length that I think it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it is by the end of it.
Nice. Yeah, good art takes time.
I'm definitely curious to see what the response to that is going to be, because there's like so many people convinced by like
who haven't seen Kimba.
Yeah.
I think the best argument I have is just going to be showing like the show. Just being like, hey, this is what the show actually is.
I will say most of the comments on the highlights have been positive. I get very few angry Kimba fans.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying those highlight videos.
Does Kimba have like a whole following or something?
As long as you make the distinction that if the Lion King was inspired, you know, by Kimba, that's fully valid. But to say it's a ripoff, that's more extreme. Yeah.
I am way ahead of you. I'm making sure to make my my stance on it very clear.
How long is your Kimba video gonna
It's
be?
good to take
I'm-
inspiration into your projects. So yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be like 45 minutes, maybe.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. That
At
should
least
be
it'll
fun.
make a good companion piece of the Lion King YMS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A good precursor.
Oh yeah, are you still gonna try to briefly bring up the Kimba, but then be like, oh yeah, if you want to hear my full opinion, go watch this video?
I'm probably not going to mention it in my Lion King YMS.
Yeah, but
I don't see the point.
Have you seen Saber Sparks' video on Kimbo the
Yeah.
White Lion yet?
He has.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, also speaking of Birdman, it's Birdman right there.
Definitely want to see that.
Yeah, you can like see his reaction to Saber Sparks videos in I think part 4 of my highlights.
It's in the title.
Cool.
Make sure to put the Wah song.
All right. Any other final questions and comments?
I have one. Okay, you go.
No, you go. I already said something.
Oh, okay. Basically asking everyone and Adam, everyone at the same time, I guess, for some recommendations during this quarantine, but almost specifically like cult or classic movies that I missed out on, which is most of them. Like, for example, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, Funny Games, The Matrix. I've been writing them down as you mentioned them. I haven't seen a lot of classics. Like, I just saw The Thing the other day, for example, as well.
Okay. You listed a lot of classics. I don't know how many of those I'd consider cult classics.
Okay.
So are you looking for?
Because I didn't know, like, because Funny Games is from like 2007, right? I don't know how old something has to be a classic.
I don't know if I'd even consider Funny Games to be a cult classic, because it's like the people who are fans of Funny Games are mostly just dedicated fans of the director, sort of thing.
Sure. Okay.
Well, I've only seen one Hanukkah film, so
yeah.
I do want to check out Cache, but I have this fear that like the instant I buy it, it's gonna go Criterion. Like,
But yeah,
maybe
that's
it's
what
on
happened. That's what happened.
it's on the Criterion channel, so I'm just like,
Yeah, that's what happened with a Parasite. But I'm like, cat jokes on you. They had recently announced a 4K Ultra HD HDR version of Parasite, so I'm not even gonna get Parasite on Criterion.
Dogtooth is a good movie.
Yes,
from
director of
like
The
that.
Favorite and Killing of a Sacred Deer.
More quick
Fantastic
examples.
film.
I think the only Scorsese film I've seen is Taxi Driver, and I haven't seen any Quentin Tarantino films.
Oh, well, yeah. Check out
Kill
more.
Bill's
Watch Kill Bill.
fantastic.
Kill
Yeah,
Bill.
Kill Bill's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Glorious
Kill Bill is great.
One.
Yeah.
I would
his,
recommend
his last two ones were pretty great as well.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think
Django
is
is fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm sad there's no like Tarantino Criterions, probably because of like contract shit.
Maybe Tarantino is just too popular for
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's a
just
licensing thing.
Yeah, and also like
I would love to see
Miramax.
I would
Criterion
love to
really-
see a Criterion release of The Bloody Affair on Criterion, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or just any release.
Yeah.
Have you seen Seven?
No.
David Fincher, that's like probably a good one. A good Fincher
Yeah.
classic, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fight
Seven's
Club's a
good.
cult classic.
Two films I would recommend is a Japanese film called Tampopo, from the 80s. That's a very good film.
Okay.
It's 1988, I think. And also a film called Naked from 1993, starring David Thewlis. I wouldn't read into it, but both of them are very fun times.
And should I see Eraserhead? I haven't seen that.
Absolutely.
If you want.
Yes.
That was fine.
That's supposed to be very weird.
Probably his
That was
most
enjoyable.
accessible
The
film,
only thing
maybe.
the only thing about Razorhead that I don't really want to see it for is like from what I heard about the baby, and I just don't want that to be.
I have no idea anything
It's
about
not
it.
that bad.
Okay, because I read like a synopsis of it, and I just have this
It's probably worse. Your mental image is probably worse.
And
You
Pulp-
should,
Pulp
if you want to watch
Fiction.
like cult classics, you should check out the Evil Dead trilogy.
Oh, I love
Evil Dead,
Okay.
Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness.
I only saw
what's-
the first one.
Oh yeah. And,
Oh man, it gets so it changes just like genres in Evil Dead 2 and then Army of Darkness.
And the
Oh
funny thing
yeah,
is,
those were great.
Each
I
one
don't
feels
know.
less serious and more ridiculous than the last.
It just gets goofier.
Perfect. I liked how goofy
I'm
the
still
first one
waiting
was.
on a Army of Darkness
check out
getting
the
a
Coen
4K
Brothers.
release since the first two got a 4K release. Like what the fuck? Why does the third film not have 4K?
Yeah,
release?
they've had like 6 different Blu-ray releases for Army of Darkness, and it's pissing me off.
And everyone would
Oh,
recommend.
Sam Raimi, he's going to be directing Doctor Strange too.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
the Doctor Strange sequel in the MCU.
Yeah, but Sam Raimi.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Raimi, who did the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire.
And Evil Dead.
He's in MCU now. He's going to direct Doctor Strange and in Doctor Strange, Spider-Man will appear.
Yeah,
And
that
you'd
gives me
all
a lot more faith in that film, honestly, than Scott Derrickson. Was that his name? The original director's name of the first movie.
I saw Doctor Strange in IMAX, and watching it in IMAX was actually pretty enjoyable. Just the visuals because it was very Inception-y, and it was cool in that respect when I saw it in IMAX. But yeah,
I'd assume you'd all recommend like Pulp Fiction as well.
100%.
Yeah, anything
Pulp Fiction
by,
and Kill Bill are my
Tarantino.
2 favorite Tarantino movies.
Okay.
Yeah, literally anyone that likes Tarantino will recommend Pulp Fiction.
How about if I liked The Thing? Where would you go from there?
If you liked what? The Thing?
Like The Thing and The Shining are my favorite old horror movies, for example.
Have you seen
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby?
What was that?
Rosemary's Baby?
No.
That's a great one.
That is a all-time great horror movie.
I don't know how
Get
much
that
I would
on
compare it to The
Criterion.
Thing and The Shining, but it's
Yeah,
really
but
great.
it's like a
It's
classic
on
horror movie.
Netflix.
Yeah.
These aren't really horror, but I would recommend some Coen Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
like No Country for Old Men. If you haven't.
Oh yeah, that's more of a thriller, but
When
I really
Big
wanna see
Lebowski. It's great. Fargo.
Lebowski's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Burn After Reading is a film that has been kind of, I guess that has something of a cult classic-ish status now because I've heard people talk more positively about it than they did back when it was first released.
The True Grit remake was Coen Brothers too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Coen Brothers.
Yeah, I liked that.
and it was a cool movie. The performances were great.
Yeah, Inside Louis Davis is also fantastic.
It's alright. I don't know if I really like that as much, but yeah, it's nice. It's nicely shot.
I love Llewyn Davis, but I also love the music in it a lot.
And
Yeah,
the funny
I just thought
that's
Llewyn Davis
that's
was
the shit I grew up in.
I just thought
someone
Llewyn
from the South.
Davis was very sad in a way where just after
I like
that,
sad
just-
movies.
Well, me too,
Yeah,
but I
as well,
mean,
me too.
I like a balance between sad and just how to cope with that,
Mhm.
those-
Hopeful.
Right.
Yeah, having
I think
some-
it did have a
yeah.
glimmer of hope by the end. No spoilers.
Yeah,
Requiem
like,
for a Dream is a really good sad movie.
I mean, like Children
Mhm.
of Men is the world is sad, but then they're on like a mission for hope, and I like those kind of movies.
Thank you for all the recommendations.
No problem.
Yeah, and like Chinatown also struck me as having like a really dark ending. I guess watching it and stuff,
Oh, the
I really
ending's
liked
dark,
a lot of
yeah.
it. And the ending came with like, come on, you're gonna end it like
Hey,
that?
no spoilers.
Well, I mean,
But with that said, it's one of the best endings ever, and it's one of the best films ever made.
yeah, and also
I have
like
to
I
watch
think
it
the
again.
ending is the only thing I know about that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Without spoiling,
Yeah.
the ending of Chinatown felt more or less realistic. How some things just is unresolved.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
spoiled for
and
me,
it really
but I'm not
fit the tone
sure.
of the movie.
Yeah,
perfectly.
because nothing should be.
Twist for Oldboy.
They're realistically there aren't always happy endings.
I'm just saying that kind of ending really
Yeah.
surprised me. I was expecting like a happy ending and stuff that wasn't like that, so that really caught me off guard the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
still mad at that person who spoiled Sixth Sense for me.
Oh no, I feel like that's one where like if
You
haven't
can't
seen
avoid
it,
spoilers for
yeah,
Sixth Sense.
It's unavoidable. Yeah.
Somehow I did it. I watched
Yeah,
that and I had no idea.
All right.
Like last 2 years.
It was still
Anybody
good, though.
anybody not get to ask their final question comment?
Well, yeah, I just want to ask one more question. I mean, you guys brought up, The Seven, which is directed by David Fincher, and I was just remembered this other David Fincher movie I saw called The Game with Michael Douglas.
Oh yeah, that film.
I haven't seen that yet.
I
like
it, but I didn't like the twist.
I don't know. I mean, I liked most of it, but then I had a really stupid ending, so I didn't wound up not liking it. Not gonna say what it is.
Dumb twist.
Sure. Any other questions, comments before I end?
If I could really quickly ask something else, I don't know.
Did everybody else get a chance before we have any repeats?
Yeah. I already went, so.
Okay.
I
go
think
for it.
I think it's a quick question. We talked last time, I think, about Dear Zachary, which I watched and I loved it and everything. My question is like,
no spoilers.
No, it's not about the movie. It's like,
yeah.
So did you give that movie a number? And if you did, how did you go about choosing to rate that movie? Because like, I feel like that's like, and movies.
I think I gave it an 8. Let's just double check this. Yeah, I gave it an 8. Yeah. I think that like the content of the film, although is a little low production value for a documentary, I think that it works, and the soul of the film shines through, really.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the, like, you know, it's an experience that you don't get from other movies also.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. I just want to ask another question. You guys were also talking about the Coen Brothers. I just remembered that, like, you know, recently they came out with sort of a semi-sequel to The Big Lebowski called The Jesus Rolls, about
that was not the Coen Brothers.
So
I know that wasn't Coen Brothers, but I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I saw the trailer. It looked really bad.
Yeah, I've heard.
I have no idea about it.
As the trailer. Yeah.
I've heard
I don't know what it is.
Pre-reviews though.
It's a spin-off of The Big Lebowski, with the starring the character of Jesus from The Big Lebowski, from the bowling scene. And it's directed by the guy that acted as that character, so it's like, no.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and the trailer's bad, and I've heard the movie's just as bad as the trailers made it out to be. So.
All right. I think we're gonna end it. Thank you all for hanging out.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. We'll do the same thing next month. Hopefully the world hasn't fucking ended by then.
Again, I'm very optimistic.
We'll see.
Everybody watch Underworld.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, everybody stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't take any risks.
Absolutely.
Don't touch your face or nose when you're outside, and you'll all
as tempting as it may be,
all be fine.
Yeah. Thank you all for hanging out, and I appreciate your support. I'll be updating the with the next date on the main page of the YMS Patreon, just where you see the perk. That should be updated probably at the beginning of next month. All right. Thank you so much.
See you, Adam.
Bye, everybody.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Bye.